remember. It's the one that, like, doctors overprescribe all the time. That
Usually
are,
that's your hydrocodone and stuff.
It's
Yeah.
Vicodin or hydrocodone.
yeah,
or
the but
Percocet,
there's a
which is
name for that type of drug.
Oxycodone.
Opioids.
Something like that.
Opioid.
Yes,
Yeah.
opioids. The U.S.
epidemic.
U.S. opioid epidemic.
There you go.
Just get a bunch of opioids and just gargle them. Ah.
I would take fucking anything right now.
Yeah,
Guys,
tooth pain's the
like a
worst.
I'll take real world problems for 500.
They torture people with tooth pain. It is no joke. I've had
The
really
only other
bad
time
tooth
it
pain.
was
Ooh.
close to this is when I had to get a root canal, and the root canal actually helped. It felt like my tooth was willing to explode. It was unbearable pain for like 4 days. And I was like, I don't fucking care what it costs.
Just take it
Get
out.
it done now. I will pay whatever the fuck I need to pay. It was like $2,400 because I didn't want to pull it.
Yeah, I had that happen with a filling once. I don't know what the doctor did, but I was in pain for several days. And I'm just like, fucking drill that bitch. I don't care. It's like, well, I think we can save the nerve. And I was like, fuck the nerve. Get that. I mean, excuse my French. Damn, there go my sponsors.
Just stop the pain.
There goes Raid Shadow Legends again.
Well,
It's
But
been
yeah.
like at like a 4 for the last few days, and today, like, didn't matter how much ibuprofen or acetaminophen or whatever was taken, nothing was helping. I was like, fuck, alright, calling the dentist.
The only
Something stupid.
The only pain worse than dental pain that I had was a kidney stone. And that is easily the
Agreed.
worst pain I've ever had in my life.
God, dude, dripping sweat and hunched over in pain can't do anything bad. Yeah, it sucks.
It's like vomiting from pain. It's no fun. But anyway,
But anyway,
House
on to the
rule.
fun of tonight.
House rules.
but anyways,
So we're missing Nate. Clank, you would be up for the scribe duty if you want that story point.
Cool, always about it.
Alright. And Ophelia, do you want to give us a quick rundown of what happened last week?
Alright, yeah. Deep Druids, as Rhea calls them, are concerning. They think they own this place, and all we are trying to do is remove evil from the world. Either they are allied against us, or they're complicit with the evil demons here. But either way, this may soon be a problem that our party needs to deal with. And I am saddened that calls for peace fall upon deaf ears. In the meantime, Rhea approaches the Druids, coming out of her spider form. Approaching cautiously and peacefully, she hopes to establish better relations than our party could have done. These Druids are still in the lab, perhaps profiteering off of our work. I am hesitant that they'll use these things for nefarious means. Perhaps that is also why Rhea stayed behind. She calls on Mother Gaia for power to flow through her as she enhances her abilities before meeting with them. As other deep druids come rushing out as calls of an intruder, Rhea says she just wishes to converse. They doubt her and identify her as enemy. The deep druids recognize she is concentrating on a spell, so she drops it in hopes that this will bolster her position. The other druids identifies himself as Balivor, and Rhea asks, do you know Master Fedloy? Balivor is familiar with Fedloy and allows her some room and merit to speak, and Rhea explains that we are marked, and by what I know not. But Rhea wishes to observe the Holy Trinity, for she shall bend the fate to their whims, and she wishes for it to be out of the balance and bounty. The Deep Druids explain they are guardians of the labs, which are protected from outsiders, that they has been their calling, and they will abide by it until their death. Rhea explains the Holy Trinity does wish to clear the sealed labs. And Demi has also explained that the Deep Druids, that there is a demon infestation to them, and that they took it upon themselves to then protect it from the outsiders. Rhea pleads that they should indeed think this fact over, as the Holy Trinity will come back and forth if they do not agree to a treaty. And Rhea explains there are other dark forces that are rising, and that the Holy Trinity is currently dealing with them. It is only a matter of time until the darkness is released upon the lands. Rhea tries in vain to explain that the Trinity wishes to establish peace and deal with this darkness, rather than aid it by carelessly releasing spells that we know not of. Meanwhile, with the Holy Trinity, abrupt discussions erupt as the party debates their next actions. Alric wishes to rush in and save Rhea right away, but the rest of the party decides to put their trust in Rhea and wait the other 40 minutes until the shapeshift spell runs out. After the full hour, the party decides to rush in to rescue their comrade. And time passes, and Rhea has yet to emerge. The party talks shortly after the hour about going in peacefully at first, but we will be ready for a fight and not try to start one. Back to Riala, she pleads with these deep druids as they try to understand where the Holy Trinity is coming from again. That we seek to abolish the darkness and seek peace across the lands, even with these deep druids. Valivor mentions a missing druid that seems to have taken by the darkness of the labs, and Rhea ignores this, perhaps knowing exactly where the missing druid could be. Their call for peace eventually start working as Valivor agrees to meet with the party, and this could be a step in the right direction, as they seem to have taken to heart what Rhea has said and to allow her to leave with a tentative meeting for tomorrow. Rhea proceeds to shapeshift and travel in spider form through the cave, but the deep druids notice her immediately and they just let her pass safely. Rhea emerges from the cave right as the party is getting ready to delve. As she emerges, she shares the numbers and that the druids are resolute in keeping the lab sealed, but for some reason is quite vague about other details of their conversations. Quote, fates are moving and surface dwellers are delving. This could have happened regardless, and the Holy Trinity is allied with many surface dwellers by striving for peace, and these allies can be called upon with violent rebuttal if not rebuffed from our advances. But I do not speak for you or them. Rhea conveys the information about conveys that she gave no information about Aleka and only covered our initial delve where we challenged the beasts. She explains there's a meeting tomorrow to discuss peace terms, but the entry in labs will still be prohibited. Exhausted from the long day, the party decides to eat and rest. Thankfully, night passes without issue, as they feel like they have gained experiences and much knowledge about their recent travels and level up their abilities. In the morning, I've tried to remove the curse from my friends, and Honoria works just fine, but for some reason it fails on Elric, and that is interesting to say the least. After some small talk, I pull the cursed chest out of the bag, remove the curse on it. Clink helps to open it, immediately retreats. Unless some may call it cowardly, I see it as a friend being safe. Inside is a mace of disrupting, perhaps used from the dead deity Shabrak. I sense some negative energy from me being used in the past, but through Paler all things can be cleansed and purified. I have faith in my god that this weapon can be used for good. But for some reason, the mace elicits a reaction from Elric. He claims that it is also cursed from Shabrak. Perhaps this may help him with his curse. I'm curious to see how it may play a role in the future. And why was it even secured in this chest to begin with? Elric seems set on fighting these deep druids while the rest of the party calls for peace. They remain stubborn, will not allow the Holy Trinity to remove evil from their caves. And Alwyn has dreamt on riding a magical horse. Ophelia asks for help from Paler. We go talk to the druids. Um, there's nothing good that will benefit her through talking with them, but Elric convinces Orkar to allow some troops for intimidation tactics with our talks with them. The ogres are worried about dying. They decide to join us on the condition that if things do turn from the worst, they will retreat and we will protect them. As we head into the caves, that we meet a turtle druid that establishes that Balivor will meet us soon. And as Balivor approaches, he questions the numbers we bring. He claims they may have found a way to seal the lab so the demons can't be disturbed. There's a particularly strong one in there. And Elric Eldenspell officially introduces himself and says that this is a show of force he wishes for discussion about the Acavian labs. He pulls out the Hellfire to show the druids that even evil can be used for good. We show them a Celestial Tablet, try to use that as fight and leverage against the greater demon. We're immediately turned down and rebuffed. Balivor says celestial beings all cannot be trusted. Holy Trinity pleads their sense of humanity, tries to tell the druids that if we do not deal with the issues, it will be left to our descendants to deal with. Balivor also tells us that Balor is the most powerful non-god demon that we have to deal with, and that is one of the demons that we may have to deal with in these caves. So I, along with the rest of the party, continue to say that we wish for peace across the entire land, and with Elric leading the way, he wishes to try to tell him about the fact that we are only seeking information to help with the problems. Balivor says he wishes to pass a message along to Aleka. Elric admits that we have seen her. We say whatever Aleka decides, we will not go against her wishes. Elric says he only cares for the greater good, not what one druid does. He does not care that he revealed information that we wish not to disclose. Alwyn notices that Balivor seems like he will not agree to the peace treaty unless we get Aleka to come. So then Saria sends her message to let Aleka know of the situation, gives her a warning. If you do not wish to deal with, leave by then. We return to her and wish to inform her of the situation. She is waiting quite worriedly. We feel horrible, everyone except for Elric, that revealed information that she did not wish to disclose. She agrees to meet because of everything we've done for her, says it's for the greater sight. Why I'm grateful for Aleka's help. I worry for her safety that she will never return to the surface. She's willing to sacrifice freedom for us. This is okay. Even if she agrees with it, I know it's not what she wants, but we will do what we can to protect our new friend. Most of the party agrees that we should not sacrifice her freedom for our own gains. We wish to protect them for the greater good. She said she's willing to do it. So we head down. She heads off with Balivor and Rod access into the labs again. The druids have discovered a library within the labs. We now have access to all the information. But saddened by Aleka's departure, we decide to head back into the laboratory and look through everything. Our druids abound through the halls while we're searching through them, and we immediately search what can be uncovered. While walking through the labs, we discover a false wall in one of the rooms. Eventually, make our way to the library. We also learn the name of the druid cove is blank. I think Lou is going to say he's going to tell us this week. We also find that the druids did trap the remaining demons, and while they are being held, they are not banished. I learned from Rhea that druidic greetings try to bolster the relationships with our new friends. We decide to go our own ways and explore what can be uncovered in these halls. As we explore, we see a strange crystal enshrouded and imbued with a dark, shadowy magic. That's where we left off. Sorry, that's kind of long. It was like 4 fucking pages. It's a lot of storytelling last week.
Thank you for the recap. So it is the 19th of fall. Is that right? Yeah, 19th of fall, 1:30 p.m. What do you all want to do? You're still within the labs, kind of looking around now that you're allowed access. The druids have been cleaning up the place, sort of getting everything under control. The demons seem to be taken care of or sealed in these strange trees. And yeah, we were deciding, or you were deciding what to do next.
So the demons are sealed in those trees?
That's what the druids said. They used some kind of ritual to seal away the demons that were left. Supposedly they are much more secure there than they were before. And I think Balavor mentioned that he was going to look into a way to, like, banish them, get them completely disposed of.
I think we also agreed that if we came back with ways that we would be able to talk with him to seal them, or to get rid of them permanently too.
Yeah, he mentioned that, yeah, he would look into it, and I think you all could look into it as well if you like. But yeah, what do you want to do? You're still within the lab areas, which seems safe, at least for the time being.
What is this shadowy crystal? As I turn to one of the druids in the room.
He says, I don't know, but we believe that it is powering this place. Not seen magic like this before. I believe it's some sort of energy source. And actually, if anyone has Arcana, you might know something here. Arcana or History might tell you something.
Let's see.
Nice Arcana roll, Matthew.
Yeah, you believe they are some kind of power crystals, though the ones that you know to exist are not shadowy. They are more like the one that you found.
Can I ask
I will
Alric
pass that
to
along.
borrow the crystal that he has?
Ask Elric.
Yeah, he has the power crystal with him.
Says borrow it for what?
I want to see if there's going to be any reaction with the big one.
He shrugs and takes it out.
Maybe we shouldn't try to make them react together.
But this one's
Might-
clean.
We don't know anything about
I fear
these.
it
Let's
might
just
open something.
Experiment with magic we
This
don't
one's
understand.
clean. As she looks at it and it's not overflowing with dark energy, she goes, what if it helps the other one? That's how these
Wait,
things
so-
work.
Are they even remotely like near the same size? Because I was picturing the one we found as being like palm size, and the one that we're looking at as being much bigger. Is that
So
wrong?
the blue crystal looks more. It looks more well cut and much more structurally sound. You don't know if it's like safe to drop or anything, but the black shadowy crystal looks a lot more chaotic. And like it's cracking apart even in some places, leaking dark energy.
Can we try
What if
to?
we swap them? We replace it with the new battery.
So the druid would look at the blue crystal and he would say, "Oh, what's that?"
It is new crystal. Do you think it could be of use for this messed up one?
This maybe. One of our concerns is we're not sure how to get this magical wall of force around the pedestal down. So the crystal is sealed in there.
Maybe it's sealed for a reason.
He nods.
Probably.
He says, though if the power source is leaking, that could put this place in danger. But
Alright.
I don't know.
I guess I missed if you answered about the size of the shadow crystal.
It's bigger and more chaotic looking. Whereas the blue crystal is much more masterfully created. Like by an artisan.
The pedestal, I was thinking like the shadowy one was huge, but
No, it's only a bit bigger than the blue crystal.
okay.
It's about the size of like like a softball versus the blue crystal, which is like the size of maybe a baseball or tennis ball.
Okay.
Neither is perfectly round though. They're not spherical. They're more I don't know, rounded rounded crystal shaped. I'm not sure what the exact
Faceted. Yeah.
maybe, yeah.
I may have a way to deal with this barrier, friend.
Maybe we leave it up until we find out more about what this barrier is doing.
I agree with Clank.
So the druid would kind of look at you and say, "You have arcane aptitude?" Looking at Clank, who spoke up.
I've studied in the past. Nothing all that remarkable, but a little bit.
He says, "There might be something you should look at then." And he would lead you over here.
We would follow.
Alright. So he would lead you to this southern room here. Through the alchemy lab. And to a pedestal at the south part of the room, which is obsidian and has strange blinking runes on it, which would probably look familiar to you. They look very similar to the runes you saw in those chests.
Like the exploding runes or the cursed runes? Or can I not tell?
The puzzle box runes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Does the surface
Cool.
of this pedestal look like, you said obsidian, so does it look like the material that those boxes were made of?
Yes, it does look similar, like a screen almost, with these strange symbols flashing on it. He says, our people couldn't make much sense of this. We tried interacting with the pedestal, but nothing really happened. Seems like some sort of language that we don't understand, maybe, where we thought perhaps an arcanist might know more.
Would I be able to investigate it, or?
So you think it's similar to the chess, where if you tried to do investigation, you could probably try to solve this.
Cool.
You're not sure what would happen if you messed up, though.
I will turn to everybody and say, this might explode if I'm not careful with it. Do you want to step out of the room?
The druid seems a little more concerned. He says, oh, maybe we shouldn't mess with it then.
No challenge. Whoa.
We trust
I don't-
Clank.
I'll step back. Sorry, what?
Give me a persuasion.
Me?
I don't know, whoever said we trust Clank.
Oh shit. Okay.
Hi,
That
Trust
would be
Mike.
you.
I did not realize I was muted.
Oh.
I like monologuing. I just didn't
Hey!
think it was for everyone else.
So he seems a little nervous, but he nods and says, all right, well, as long as it doesn't damage this place, just be very careful, please. And he's going to back up.
I pat
Kind of go over towards the
Clank
door.
on his little aviator hat and put enhance ability on him, and then I leave the room.
All right.
Thank you.
I assume you're enhancing intelligence.
Intelligence, yes.
All right. So Clank
thank you.
feels smarter. So up to 2 of you can work on this if you want to work with someone. Otherwise, it would just be you.
And I get advantage on my roll
Yes.
because of enhanced ability. Cool.
I can. also help someone the way Rhea did.
Usually Elric is the one who helps me with this sort of magic stuff. I know he is trained.
Alright.
But
Elric nods. He says, yeah, I can help with that.
Alright, so I'm gonna throw an enhance ability on Elric. And
Oh, really? Elric is not very good at investigating, but okay.
yeah, I want to try to give us the best chance we can.
Is it investigation or is it arcana?
Yeah, if it's investigation, I might.
It would be probably either. You could probably use investigation or arcana.
I think
So
they're
yeah,
the
then
same.
if Alwyn would rather jump
They're
in
both
with
int-based.
investigation, then we could
Yeah.
have done that before. Yeah, could have done that instead.
Alright, so are we doing Elric with arcana or investigation
Yeah, I
with
forgot it was. I thought it was.
Perception.
Yeah, they're both int based. I'm not very intelligent.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool. Alric.
Go for it,
Alric
Alric.
it is.
Alright, so he'll
I
use
cast
arcana.
guidance on Clank.
Does pretty good. 17.
Yeah. Not bad.
Did you roll Clank?
I did. I rolled a 17 as
17.
well.
Alright, so
Add a
you would
D4, Matt.
you would get a success.
Oh, added D4? Okay.
Oh, yeah, okay, so already success, yeah.
You get a success in the first try as the green circle lights up on the top of the obsidian screen. Go ahead and give me a second check as things start to get harder.
Cool. With guidance from Ophelia. 19.
Alright, 22. Yeah, so you get another success as there are now 2 green blinking dots and the symbols start to flash quicker, making things
Right.
even more difficult.
With guidance.
I don't think Ophelia, if you're concentrating on enhance ability, I don't think you can be doing the guidance as
that.
well.
Well, that would have been a failure then on the last one. So you have a green and a red flashing circle at this
I'm
point.
sorry.
Alright, you gotta keep it
Well,
honest. No
shit.
cheaters.
Yeah.
You gotta keep it real.
If
House-
that's the
house
case,
rules.
I just want to be casting guidance then on Clank.
Oh, alright.
I wouldn't want it on Elric because Clank has a much better chance of doing it.
So you're gonna drop the spell on Elric and switch to guidance?
Yeah.
Alright, so Elric seems a little annoyed, but sighs and nods and says, alright, well, I'm not going to be much help then. So go ahead, make your third attempt.
Does the 20 count? Or should I roll?
Yeah, sure. So 20 would be a success on the second green dot. And again, now things are starting to move even quicker. So give me another set of Arcana. Oh, and 27
Nice.
will make it. So the third green dot would appear, the symbols would vanish, and a glowing handprint would appear in the center of the obsidian screen.
Nervously, I would look around the party and ask, does anyone want to put their hand on here, or should I?
I want to, as Ophelia raises her hand all excitedly.
Be careful, Ophelia.
Perhaps.
We will be here.
Okay, if she wants to.
What are you gonna say, Ria?
I was going to suggest that you continue your investigation since you are currently enchanted. But if Ophelia, is eager to, then I didn't want to dampen her.
Well,
I didn't want to dampen her
Ophelia,
spirit.
do you mind if I try?
Okay, Clank, as she just backs away and hides behind the tree. Peers out from behind it.
Alright, so you putting your hand on there?
I am.
Alright, so Clank's eyes would sort of glaze over as he goes a little bit stiff, and Clank, you would suddenly feel as if you're elsewhere. Looking around, stars appear all around you as you float in what seems to be empty space. On the horizon, there is a flash of light, and a moment later, a small glowing orb, which you kind of recognize, comes flying over. The orb would blink a few times and say, "New user detected. Please identify yourself."
I am Clink, sent by the Rune Masters to rid this land of the evil that has invaded it.
User has been identified as Clank. Welcome to the Hollow. Please state your profession.
Oh, I am an artificer and a tinkerer. I fix things and help people.
The artificer specialty has been recognized as a technological magic user. Welcome, Clank. How can Demi assist you today?
Well, nice to meet you again. Well, I haven't met you before, Demi, but nice to finally meet you. We are figuring out what this pedestal is for.
It would flash a few times and say the pedestal is a connection to the Hollow Point Runemaster Information and Teleportation Network. Connected libraries and Runemaster waypoints can be accessed here for quick travel and quick ease of information access. Unfortunately, I don't detect you as having permissions to do any of these things, but I can help you with certain other things that basic users would have permissions for.
Certain other things, such as telling me what was inside of the circle in this room.
The Hollow Point Circle.
What that circle is for, I guess I should say. I don't know what it's for.
The Hollow Point Circle in this room is a teleportation circle. They can be used to open quick portals between this area and other teleportation circles as long as power is being supplied, which it currently is. It is recommended that the power source be examined. If you could, please contact a Rune Master and let them know the power source might be, what's it called? Compromised, yes. I was going to say broken, but that wasn't very
yes,
computer-like.
We have noticed that the power source in the other room might have been compromised. I also noticed it is very dark, and I have not recognized this sort of power source before. Can you tell me more about the power source?
Apologies, but information on the power sources is not permitted to one of your access level.
Even with the Rune Master's permission, we are supposed to rid this place of the demons that invaded it, and this information would be useful.
He says, I apologize, but only a verified Rune Master can gain access to that information.
Can you tell me where I can meet a verified Rune Master?
Rune Masters are generally found throughout the Therian Empire, working on Empire business in the name of the Emperor. Usually they can be found at their base tower, which sadly is not currently connected to the Hollow network.
Can you tell me of any points that are connected to the Hollow network?
Currently there is one other point that is so she would blink a few times, and you would see there's currently one green marker, 2 red markers, and 8 gray markers. She says there are 2 more unpowered waypoint connections. Unfortunately, it seems all the others have been destroyed.
Do you think the Rune Masters would be grateful if we returned these hollow points to their original state.
Says, I'm sorry, I don't have information on that.
Oh, very good. What were these labs originally built for?
She says, the Alcavian labs were created for purposes of research and archiving of information. The area has been magically preserved through the energies given off by the crystal, and the materials here, as long as they remain here, will remain in good condition.
Ah, very good. Do you know anything about a prison just to the north of here, created by the Rune Masters?
Says, I'm sorry, I can't give information on anything of the sort.
Are you of any use?
She says, I have several functions I can serve, mostly mostly providing information to the users of base level, such as yourself.
Yes, but it seems you cannot provide me with the information I need, so you seem to not be of much use.
She just kind of blinks a few times.
Retract my hand. Goodbye. What was your name?
She says, I am Demi.
Demi. Goodbye, Demi. I will see you later. Nice to be friends with you.
Alright, so you're going to disconnect?
Yes.
How are you going to do that?
I imagine that I touched the pedestal. I would want to try to lift my feathered hand off the pedestal.
So you would lift your hand up, but your hand's just kind of floating in space now.
Oh. Uh-oh. Demi, how do I disconnect?
She says,
to the other plane that I was at.
She says, disconnecting from the hollow, one just needs to think of disconnection.
Thank you, Demi. I really appreciate it. I hope we can be good friends in the future, and I will think of disconnecting.
She says, Moradin watch over and protect you.
Moradin, yes. Moradin watch over us.
And you would see Clank suddenly come back to life as his eyes kind of unglaze over.
I would do my best to explain to the party there what just happened.
Did you meet the gods?
Wasn't Demi that ball of light that spoke to us before we entered here, and just inside the entrance?
I believe so.
They identified themselves as Demi.
I believe so. It seems Demi is almost like I don't know, a machine that is programmed to answer a certain way.
Yeah, you probably haven't seen any type of magic like that before.
And I will pass it along. And I will also say, Demi did mention that the crystal in the other room might not be fully functional. But Demi seems to be hiding a lot of information. I don't know how to get past that.
I wonder if it's possible to get a list of the users with heightened access.
Maybe we have to find a rune master, Heldrick says. Force him to talk.
I'm not sure if they're still alive. If they were, Clank, did you relay like pretty much as much of your conversation as you could?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, the comment that when you asked about where to find a rune master, and they said throughout the Therian Empire. I mean, Ria's going to point out like the Therian Empire has long since fallen.
Maybe the place starts.
Oh, yes. Do you think that any of the druids gained further access with Demi?
I doubt they would have asked you to investigate the pedestal if they'd figured out as much as you just have.
And I'll look at the party and say, should we tell the druids that the pedestal is dangerous and they should not go near it?
Should we all touch the pedestal and all gain access?
What benefit do you see out of that?
There doesn't seem to be much.
See out of that?
I don't trust glowing balls of light, Elric says, narrowing his eyes. I think this is a trick. Let me speak to this Demi. I will make her see my ways. He kind of goes to put his hand to the handprint. Says,
I'll cast Mage Hand to slap his hand away.
what is this? He gives you a dirty look.
Can I cast Mage Hand to slap his Mage Hand?
This mage hand slap fight. Alright, so Elric is just looking at you two now as you slap fight with each other's mage hands. He says, we're wasting time. I should speak to Demi. Maybe I can figure something out. I am quite skilled in the use of my diplomacy, you know.
We have seen that, but the question is, can we trust you to use your diplomacy for this group and the betterment of Gaia rather than yourself individually?
She says, how dare you? I always use my diplomacy for the betterment of this group. Have I not... Go ahead.
Oh, I can't insight. Never mind. I'm not good at insight.
He says, listen, if you really don't want me to talk to her, I don't have to. I was just offering my skills.
I see no problem with it. It seems there isn't a whole lot of use at this time or knowledge that we can gain from Demi, but...
Are you condoning the abuse of Demi, Rhea?
What's that?
I said, are you condoning the abuse of Demi?
The abuse of Demi? All I did was say that I see no harm in any of us...
Turning Elric loose on her?
He says, I resent that comment as well.
I pat Elric on the shoulder.
He just growls at you.
But no, what I was going to say was the druids asked us to investigate this pedestal, and it seems that they may not have even decoded what Clank was able to. So one possible option, I'm not saying this is the only course of action, but we could share with them what we have learned, and perhaps other members of their group could work together with Clank for further,
Yes.
But
Ulrich,
we could keep it. Yes, sorry, go ahead.
Ulrich, I'm curious as to what you are trying to get out of it.
He shrugs. He says, nothing. I was just offering my help.
Ah.
Says, what would I have to gain from this?
You seem to be very driven by loot and gold and treasure.
Says, I have plenty of gold and treasure. I'm a noble. Have you forgotten?
Ah, that's just what somebody who is poor would say.
He just eyes you strangely.
That's also what a stuck-up noble would say.
He says, Solomon Ranger, because I forgot what your character's name is. Alwyn. He says, Alwyn, have I not paid you for the jobs you've done for me? He says, I am not lacking money.
I see. I'm actually not sure, OC, whether that ever occurred.
Yeah, you think back, like, did he pay me, actually?
Would you be opposed if I touched it, Clank, as I walk up to the pedestal?
Maybe we listen to what Rhea has to say. She is very wise. And trustworthy. Rhea, did you have something?
I mean, I don't think it matters if others of us speak with Demi, just as Clank has done, and some of us may think of interesting questions that might give us bits of more information, but obviously the primary impediment we're experiencing here is that Demi does not seem inclined to give us the more valuable information that would assist us or clue us in. So
levels as base access, though, right?
Sure, yeah, touch it if you want. That's the Rhea said all along that she'd mind if Elric touched it. She'd mind if you touched it. Like, she doesn't see any benefit or problem with that. But what I was getting at was, I think that the main impediment here is that we might need to find some way to prove that the Farian Empire and the Rune Masters no longer exist. And even then, I don't know if Demi has any kind of
that will be enough to give us
protocol
access,
to like do something differently then.
Override protocol or
what
something.
If we find a way to impersonate the Rune Masters? I am quite handy at making things, and Elric, as he has pointed out, is a silver-tongued bastard.
Says I don't remember the bastard part.
Oh, sorry. I thought that was just a human phrase or elven phrase.
Do you think any of the books would help us?
Ooh, that is a wise yes.
Oh yeah, we could search for names of rune masters or tales of rune masters
or maybe places where we can find rune masters.
Yes, these all seem like good ideas, Elric says, scratching his chin. Trying to look smart.
Why don't you try to connect? And Ophelia, you as well.
Finally! He just walks over and puts his hand on it. So several moments later, he would disconnect and say, "This woman is impossible. As much as I flatter her, she does not seem to care. What sort of strange person is this? It's not normal. None of this is natural." He just walks over, kind of leans against the wall, pouting.
I think it might be some type of advanced construct. It may not exactly, you know.
It seems to have programmed responses. We have to figure out the program.
I don't know what any of that means, Bird.
You wouldn't. You with the little mind.
It just gives you a dirty look.
Well, do you want to study, or should we... She did say that there was one other place where the teleportation circle was active. And, well, 2 red markers, 1 green marker, and 8 gray markers.
She said this one was the active one.
Okay, this one was the green one. So maybe we find those 2 red markers.
Did she show these marks to you on like a map of sorts?
That is a good question.
Or even give you like distances between the points or something like that?
Yeah. Did she show me a map, or did she just...
There was just some markings. You don't speak Dwarven, right?
I don't think I do. I think I speak Elven.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have recognized the language.
Yeah, no. Celestial and Common and Elvish. It looks like... does anybody speak languages besides Dwarven? Because I could not read the location, the maps that...
I know some Dwarvish, if it helps.
Maybe
so Undercommon, Sylvan, Primordial, Goblin, and Giant.
Eldwin, maybe you can try asking...
Brag, Elric says under his breath.
Oh, shut up, you noble.
Eldwin, maybe you can try asking the Hollow Point where these locations are. I don't know who is better at remembering maps between you and Ophelia, but I have known Ophelia to be a little airheaded sometimes.
Oh.
I am quite proficient.
Shots fired.
I guess I could try. You see Eldwin's kind of like a little hesitant, reaching into the pedestal.
I believe in you, Eldwin. You can do it.
He puts his hand on the pedestal.
So you put your hand on the pedestal, but nothing happens for some reason.
Interesting.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't have the same effect as the others.
I touch it after Elduin.
Alright, so Ophelia would glaze over, and you would now be floating in the hollow. In this starry, boundless void. Once again, Demi would appear and ask for identification.
I am Ophelia von Lisseltania.
Well met, Ophelia. Your presence has been logged. What is your profession?
Cleric.
Can you please identify the god you worship?
Palor.
This deity is recognized as a human deity. Welcome, Ophelia, worshipper of Palor. How can I assist you?
Well, I have a few questions for you, Demi, if you might be able to help me. What rank are we currently at?
You are a basic user of the Hollow. You can access the teleportation routes if they are opened by someone with higher rank, and you can ask basic questions of me, and I would be happy to answer them as best I can.
How do we increase our ranks or upgrade them?
It says ranks must be given by rune masters. A rune master can increase your rank and open up new privileges to you.
What happens if there are no rune masters left?
I'm sorry, I don't understand your question.
What would you do if there was no more rune masters?
She kind of floats there, blinking. She says, I don't have an answer for this question. My apologies.
Is there a protocol to do if there was no one above basic rank?
She blinks for a moment and says, I assume that if there was no one above basic rank, then the permissions of the higher ranks would be lost for good.
Is there a way to override that?
And she says, no, not without the permissions of the rune masters. One cannot override the granted permissions.
Is there any other way to get permissions, or do the permissions have to be in writing, or are they granted magically?
She says the rune masters are able to magically grant permissions and increase one's rank within the Hollow.
When was the last time you saw? Go ahead.
She says you would just need to have a rune master connect to the Hollow, access your identification, and grant you the permissions that they were allowed to grant.
Is there a rank above rune master?
Says the rune masters who are masters of the Hollow have the highest rank. There are other ranks of the Hollow granted to the other rune masters that are not in charge of maintaining and upkeeping the Hollow, and there are ranks granted to those underneath the rune masters for higher level visitors and people of note within the Therian Empire.
What do you mean by people of note?
There are certain individuals within the royal family, as well as certain gifted magic users that are given ranks within the Hollow and granted the ability to use it. Allies to the crown and to the royal family.
When was the last time you spoke with somebody inside the Hollow?
The last noted login was about 2 minutes ago.
What about before that?
Before that was another 2 minutes ago.
What about before that?
Before that, the last noted login was...
compute.
10:38 of the 13th cycle.
On what day?
The 45th of summer.
How many years ago was that, Demi?
120.
It was approximately 119, I believe.
Who was that person?
The identity of that person cannot be granted with your current permissions.
Can you tell me what rank they were?
I cannot give out any information on that person.
Okay. Do you know if people with access to the Hollow are still alive to this day?
I don't have information on that. My apologies.
Is there a way that we can get information about that?
She says, I do have status on some of the deceased rune masters that were previous users of the Hollow, but that's not basic information I can give out.
So you can't tell me where they were at?
My apologies, but no, I cannot.
Okay. We have a friend that touched the portal and nothing happened. Do you know why?
The attempted access was logged, but your friend was detected to have been touched by dark energies. Those who are not of living status are not able to access the hollow.
Ouch.
Okay. Is there a way to override that?
The settings could be changed by a rune master, theoretically.
Okay. Can you tell me where those 2 red portals are?
Red.
The two portals that are red. Do we know their location?
She says, well, the one portal is north in the capital, in the vaults of Kultura. The other portal is south, in the ruin, or in the area of the halls of Tarsus.
Which one is closer?
The closer of these two is the southern portal. Both are currently not powered.
What would it take to power it? I'm like, would this work? As I pull out or imagine holding the power crystal.
You would realize you don't have any of your stuff.
Can I?
But if you think about the power crystal, it would appear in your hand. Demi would blink a few times and say, item identified as an arcane power crystal. Extremely rare, and only one is known to exist within the Therian Empire. This power source could be used to easily power any of the ancient Nightweather artifacts, or any of the newer, Hollow Point creations.
Can they be removed once placed?
She blinks a few times. She says, the artifacts of the old city are varied, but as far as the hollow points go, the power sources can freely be given and removed. Though removing them will cease power and functionality of the hollow point.
If we were to remove a crystal and replace it, what would be the downsides?
She says it would depend on the object you're powering. There are different effects for different objects. Unpowering some objects can be dangerous, while others would have no effect if they were unpowered. For example, the labs of the Alcavian labs, if a power source is removed, it would almost immediately start to crumble. So switching of a power source would have to be immediate to prevent the destruction of the labs.
How long is the power source in here good for in this Alcavian laboratory?
Says with the current leaking of the power source, it should be good for at least another year, though repair will increase the lifespan considerably.
How do we repair it?
So she flashes a few times and she says, simple mending spells should repair the cracks in an aging soul crystal.
Is that why this one is dark and corrupted, is because it's aged?
She says the soul crystals are known to degrade fairly quickly because of the unstable energies that are within them. They require maintenance over time to prevent them from cracking and being destroyed.
I think of the obsidian dagger and make it appear in my hands.
Hey, my dagger!
Okay, so the obsidian dagger would appear.
What can you tell me about this?
It is a Rune Master's blade. Used to carve energies to and from various runes.
Is there a way we could learn what runes there are and what we can carve with it?
I don't understand the question. My apologies.
Okay. I imagine holding that mace of whatever it is, the disrupting mace.
All right.
Has the whatever demon thing attached to it. Demi, what can you tell me about this?
This item is unknown to the Hollow. My apologies.
Okay. All right. I think that there's quite a few questions that I appreciated. Demi, if we wanted to talk with you, what would be the easiest way?
She says, Hollow Point access is the easiest way to get in touch with me. I can also be contacted at the entrance of this place, or if permissions are correct, I can be summoned within the labs. Unfortunately, you do not possess those permissions.
If we wanted to return here for ease, very quickly, what would be the easiest way to do so? Is there a spell, or is there ways that we can access the lab quickly?
With permissions, the Hollow Point teleportation circle would be the easiest way to return. You would just have to access it from a different Hollow Point.
If we do discover another Hollow Point, how would we travel through it?
You would have to gain permissions from someone who could open up a portal, and they would connect it to this one. There is currently a tree within the Hollow Point circle. It is recommended that vegetation and other cluttering debris be removed. But this does not prevent the use of the circle.
Okay. Do you know where, if we wanted to contact a Rune Master, how we could do so?
The easiest way to get in touch with the Rune Masters is to visit their tower. Unfortunately, the tower does not appear to be powered currently, which is extremely strange. But you would have to travel there and get in touch with them. That is the...
Where was the last known location of the Rune Tower?
No information exists on this. My apologies.
What does the Rune Tower look like?
So there would be a flash of light and a very large-looking magical tower would suddenly appear within the void. Standing to scale, it looks like it's about 50 feet tall, with all sorts of weird markings on it. Do you have history or arcana?
I do have history.
History might tell you something here. No, you wouldn't recognize anything about this tower, but it does seem pretty large and impressive. It reminds you kind of reminds you of the tower that you saw in Highguard.
Alright, is this what the Rune Tower looks like currently?
This is the last known image of the Rune Tower within the Hollow. Current look and status of the Rune Master's Tower is unknown.
Can you make me a diagram of what it might look like aged to our current time from the last time?
He says the Rune Master Tower is preserved, so it shouldn't age like a normal structure.
Okay. What are we able to go through the lab with our basic rank now?
She says the security systems are currently deactivated with the threat of the demons put under control. None of the defenses should hinder you or prove fatal.
Are there any hidden rooms in this laboratory?
She says there are 2 hidden rooms. Currently, both are sealed.
What do we need to do to open those rooms?
You would have to have permissions in security for the Alcavian labs. Such permissions you do not possess.
How do we get permissions?
Contact one
I
of
guess.
the rune masters
Yeah,
for
yeah,
permissions.
Is there a way to override these permissions to enter the rooms?
She says you would have to contact one of the rune masters to gain permissions.
Are there any books of note that we should read about what we get access granted to and about the Hollow Point information that we can study within this laboratory?
She says currently there is only one active library connected to the Hollow Point, and in the background behind her you would see a replica of the library you were just in, basically with all the books and everything. She says at one point there were many libraries connected, but all seem to be powered down at the moment. If you need any information, the library is the best place to look. It can be found on the east side of the labs.
I appreciate all the information, Demi, and we will talk with you soon.
She says, Moradin, watch over and bless you.
Paler, you as well. And then I just imagine disconnecting my hand.
Alright, so you kind of come to as everyone's kind of just staring at you.
Apologize for that long wait, friends. I had many questions, and then I tell them about everything we discussed.
So
Alright.
basically, we're back to some people that might be dead are the only people that can get us further access.
It sounds like we need to study some.
This Demi is extremely cold. I do not like her.
If we ask the right questions, we can get around it.
I think we need to figure out a way to impersonate these rune masters if they have been gone for hundreds of years, as Rhea and the textbooks have said.
Maybe a disguise.
Ah. Is it that simple? But friends, what do you want to do?
Maybe the books could offer us some insight, potentially.
Ophelia, you said there were 2 rooms, secret rooms that were hidden, correct?
Correct.
We only know of one.
Do we?
There
The
is
one right before the
in the
library.
room right before the library. We detected it, but
yeah.
we were not unable to unlock it because I was tired.
So, at this point, Balavor would enter from the north, walking over to all of you.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I see you found the mysterious pedestal. Oh, and it looks like you've activated it. He says, what did you find out?
I did find out that although this tree and this vegetation is good at keeping things from traveling through this portal, it will not stop stuff from traveling through this portal. Do you have any other magical defenses you can keep that you can use to keep things from traveling through this portal?
He says, we could leave guardians here. Are you expecting something to come through this portal?
I am not. But I would hate to be surprised. And we knew that there were demons here before. This is a portal.
Well, I'm happy to hear suggestions. Other than that, I would just assume have our people keeping watch. Were you able to discover why these demons were here? Did the pedestal give you any insights?
I will look at Ophelia.
I snap my fingers and point at him and go, that would have been a good question.
Give me 1 minute, and I will turn around and place my hand on the pedestal.
Oh, did we lose
we did ask,
Alwyn?
We did ask
Yeah,
Demi when
You'd have to leave early.
we encountered Demi outside the labs. One of the questions that Rhea asked was how the demons entered here, and but yeah, go ahead, ask again. Like, see if there's any different wording or if they give anything slightly different. Now that you have the base level user access.
Cool. So I would put my hand in on the pedestal.
Boom. Alright, so you go back in.
Demi, how did the demons get here?
The demon attacks were initiated during a failed experiment around 119 years prior.
A failed experiment? Got it.
That is correct.
Do you know anything about this experiment?
Information is not readily available. Several experiments were used by the previous accessor of the Hollow, and special magics were used to turn the teleportation circle into a prison of sorts.
And that was just over 100 years ago?
Correct. It was this that led to the demon attacks on the labs and ultimately them being sealed.
So more than 1,000 years after the Therian Empire collapsed.
Yeah.
This is... Oh wait, she's not there.
Sorry.
I would repeat what Rhea said more than... So it seems like it had been 1,000 years after the Therian Empire collapsed that this teleportation circle was used to trap these demons.
I do not have any information on the collapse of the Therian Empire. My apologies.
Thank you. And then I would imagine myself lifting my hand off of the pedestal. Thank you, Demi. I really appreciate your information and look forward to talking with you in the future.
Boom. Alright, so you exit.
And I pass that information along. Including, I would also tell the druid guy that these teleportation circles were apparently used more recently to trap demons.
Says, how long did you say ago this was? 120 years?
19.
19? He says,
Were not your people here and guarding this place at that time?
He says, no, my people arrived here about 90 or so years ago, making this place our home. So, the lab was sealed when we found it. So whatever happened must have happened before our arrival.
Interesting.
Yes, the magical energies surrounding this place have always been, or the energies, I guess they wouldn't necessarily be magical, but the energies surrounding this place have always been considerably impressive.
Interesting. We had understood that you had been here for much longer a time.
He says, no, that's about the time we arrived. Who told you we were here longer?
I thought that you had said your people had guarded this for hundreds of years, but perhaps I misheard.
He says, oh, no, not hundreds. Just under 100 years we've been here.
For barely a generation.
He nods. He says, but we've watched over it fairly thoroughly. Not having much of an enemy until all the surface, all the surface dwellers suddenly arrived. Started digging in the old ruins.
Were the greenskin goblins or hobgoblins the first to arrive, or were there others?
No, the goblins were definitely the first of note.
We were the rest of them.
He says, although, I believe there was a lone human a little while before the goblins arrived, but she didn't really come close to the labs. It more seemed like she was scouting the area, and shortly, maybe like a year or so later, is when the hobgoblins and the mercenaries came.
Interesting. If I give you a piece of paper, could you draw her?
He says, I actually don't think I need a piece of paper.
Minor illusion.
Yes.
And,
Great spell. Great spell.
let's see. So he would chant casting a spell, and the image of a woman would appear that you probably don't recognize.
Uh-huh.
Are you sure we don't recognize her?
We definitely don't recognize her.
Okay.
A hooded, white-haired
Rhea
woman.
definitely doesn't recognize her.
He says, do you know this woman?
Why does it look like Ophelia?
He looks to Ophelia. He says, well, they both have white hair, but other than that, there's not much of a resemblance.
Do you know of her, what race she is?
We didn't really engage with her. She seemed human, but she was quick and quiet, and didn't come near the ruin proper. More examined the ruins near the surface. The ones that the mercenaries had dug into. So, we had mostly left her alone when she was here, though later we thought maybe she had been working for the mercenaries, as sort of a forward scout.
She hadn't checked out the prison that we found, had she?
No, she didn't come into the mines at all, actually. She mostly stayed outside.
Great. Well, thank you.
He says, Fedloy actually told us about her several times. And he kind of looks to Haria. Surprised you hadn't seen her before this. Or your master hadn't told you about her.
I mean, would I have?
How long were you with Fedloy?
I want to say. Let me just confirm. I mean, it's in my backstory. I just don't want to.
Well, regardless, I'll say he never told you about her for whatever reason.
Okay. 2 years. I was with Fedloy for 2 years.
Yeah. So for whatever reason, he didn't really mention whoever this was. Alright, so what do you want to do?
Well, friends, what do you think? Should we study more, or we do have that one ruin back by Char? Yeah,
There's
or
another...
there's that secret room here.
So
It seems nobody has discovered.
Balavor will say, well, whatever you wish to do, you are welcome guests here. In fact, I had some things I wanted to give you, since you were kind enough to relinquish this place and help us get our Aleka back. And he would bring over a sack full of things. He said, we found a lot of these in the lab, and we thought these might be of more use to you than us. And it mostly seems like components. You would find a couple of things in the pouch.
Oh, can I take those religious components? And I can use those for revivify, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So that would be what's in the sack. I'm not sure who's taking what, but he would hand those to the group.
I will hand 1 greater healing potion to everybody who's here right now.
All right. So
Ophelia, Eldwin, if everybody wants to equip that.
Thank you.
Are you okay with me putting the arcane components in my bag of holding? And when we need them, we can use them.
I'm okay with that, Clank. Are you
Fine with
okay if I
me.
hold those religious components? I feel like they might be best used in my hands.
I will look to the party, and that's fine with me.
put those in your pouch on your belt or something. So at this point, your ally here, Bellavor, is going to leave unless you have anything else you want to talk to him about. But mechanically speaking, you can use the lab for downtime projects. So you can do research and crafting type downtime projects here. Because of the potency of the labs, crafting is at 90% cost instead of 100. So you can craft cheaper here.
Cool. Let me make sure I have that marked down.
That doesn't stack with any of your other abilities. So for things like your artificer discount, like you wouldn't get the 90%. You would just take yours because it's better.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, what do you all want to do?
I'd like to start reading.
Maybe we check out this secret room.
I'm very
Down
keen
to
on
join
this
Clank
secret
to do
room.
that.
It might have answers that Dummy could not get. But we also do need to find answers to you, Eldwin. What would you like to do, Eldwin?
I kept saying that potentially the library might have answers.
Cool.
All right.
Or at least a lead to one. Yeah, Eldwin would like to go to the library and try to read up on what Zytion is, or how to deal with ghosts.
All right.
I'd like to go with Eldwin and start reading
Do you
as
want
well.
to spend a week here to study and research? Cool.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. So yeah, we can say you're gonna spend some downtime here. You said you want to spend 5 days here?
Yeah,
Fine with
and
that.
in that time, could I try to unlock the secret door that was in the other room?
You could try, but there wouldn't be an obvious way to do it. You might assume that you have to do it through the hollow. Unless you're gonna like try to dig through the wall, which might not be the best idea.
No, that's not gonna work. Sure.
But all right, so we can pass some time here. Do you have someone who could get food for the group, or will you have to spend food?
I think we'll have to spend rations.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna ask for too much during the downtime. At least at this point, this place seems safe. So I can just pass. Do you all have projects to work on, or are any of you starting new projects?
I'm starting a research project.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, research on the Zytion, pretty much.
Okay.
I'm researching, I guess, rune masters, like specifics about the individuals and their lives, and their names and personalities, stuff like that.
All right. These will be intelligence checks.
Yeah, I'll be lousy at it.
There isn't going to be an option to spend extra gold here because none of these druids are researchers. But you can just do. I guess you wouldn't even have to do the 50. Yeah, Yeah, because I can't think of anything that would be an expense here. You'd just be using the books. So, you would be maybe, well, yeah, because I mean, it's not like they're going to charge you for using the books.
Is there anything that we can do to help this group? Do they need anything, any areas cleared or searched, or
The druids?
any resources from elsewhere? Messages sent to other clans?
No, these druids they're pretty set. They're just happy that this place has been opened and that it's secure, so they're not going to ask much of you. Alright, so, yeah, so that's going to be 3 of you doing research projects. What about the 4th one?
So basically, looking for both rooms and trying to open them is not going to be a check that we can do for the week.
You can try, but you'd probably come to the same conclusion as Clank, that these rooms would have to be opened with the hollow.
Is there a way you could, like, peruse Demi or something?
Go hollow and ask Demi if he can open it?
She would say no.
Okay.
I think Clank asked that, didn't he?
Yeah. She would say, same thing, you need permissions. She'd give you the same answer.
Then I am going to go, I guess, study as well.
Alright, so you're all doing some research projects. So 5 days of downtime. Go ahead and spend 5 days of food each. That would put you at the 24th of fall. So give me, I guess each of you did a separate project, so each of you would give me an intelligence check.
All right.
Is it just one check, or is it like 3?
It's 1 check each.
Okay, can I use inspiration on this?
No. You can't use the only bonuses you can get are bonuses you'd have for like 8 hours a day each day, because it's kind of representing like a culmination of things you're doing. Let me check something.
Elduin, what were you looking into?
Zytion, pretty much.
Oh my lord. Why couldn't that have been reversed?
I'm with you too.
Because
Rhea,
it's
don't
Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Rhea, what were you looking into?
Riala was looking for specifics on the Rune Masters, like the specific names and like some personal profiles on Rune Masters, where they lived, what they did, stuff like that.
All right. So first, Elduin, you said you were researching Zytion?
Yep.
So the 19, you would get 2 pieces of lore on the Zytion. Hammer Clank 22, you would get, what were you researching?
I am going to say I'm researching the Rune Masters. They seem to be pretty important.
Alright, so you would get 3 pieces of lore on the Rune Masters. Ophelia, unfortunately, the library doesn't give you anything for your efforts. You read a bunch of books, but don't find anything of use in the week. Riala, with an 8, I think you get 1 piece of lore. What were you looking into?
I was also looking in the Rune Masters, but I was very specifically looking for some names and you know, personal profiles, since people are talking about possibly trying to.
All right, so yeah, you can you can spend that lore on a specific Rune Master and a bunch of information on that Rune Master.
That'd be awesome.
I'm not sure what the rest of you would do with your lore. The Zytion, I mean, mostly you would find had you known anything about the Zation before this?
I think so.
I think I believe just the whispers that he received from that from the crypts we were exploring. Would have been the first time you've heard about it.
Alright, so the Zation, or the Zaiton, sometimes called the Soulless as well, are strange individuals that seem to appear at fated times throughout history, doing deeds of great good or evil. They generally seem to be high will-powered beings, lots of times human, but not always. There have been noted Zaiton of all different races and creeds. They're basically kind of heroic figures, and figures that have caused great change, sometimes for good or bad.
Okay.
But that would be one piece of lore. Is there anything specific you want to gain from that information with your second piece of lore? Like any questions on what I said? Or, yeah. What do you want to do with that second piece of lore?
Oof.
Like, would you look into any of that basic info further?
Yeah, I would like to press on with that info. I want to look further into it.
Like what in particular from the stuff I said?
Okay. Um. Give
Or
me a
is there
sec.
something else you want to try to figure out about the Zaiton? Or Soulless or Zation? Seems that several different empires and races had different names for them. The Zation was the dwarven one.
Okay.
The Tharian.
I think. I think Elduin would take into account about how he wasn't allowed to like link up to the pedestal, and he would like to research further into like any certain like uh dark evil Zation that have been recorded in history.
Like specific Zation who have done harm?
Yes.
Alright, well none are really related to the hollow points that you touched, but there are definitely figures that seem to be fated to do a lot more bad than good. Is there like, when you say a specific one, just anyone?
Yeah, anyone.
So there was a magic user during the 12th cycle who had caused quite a bit of strife within within the courts of the noble family, and actually brought about a civil war between several of the members of the royal family. He had quite a bit of magical ability, and at one point had ascended to godhood, but no one knows what happened to him. He just kind of disappears in the lore. A figure by the name of Drandolph.
Randolph.
Yep. Alright, so moving on. Hammerclank, you said you got 3 pieces of lore, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So what were you
And
researching?
I would want to try to figure out how to trick Demi into thinking that we are brewmasters.
It
So I was
is.
researching the Rune Master lore.
All right, so you would figure out that that is impossible.
Cool.
The demis cannot be tricked. They can basically kind of read almost like an essence or aura to you. Even with very powerful magic illusions or magical, what's it called? Different auras. Like they can still kind of see past those. But with a second piece of lore, there might be something else you can do.
That would be the idea.
All right, so with the second piece of lore that you spend, you find out that the Rune Masters, to kind of solidify their power within the Hollow, used rings that identified them. These rings, while not exactly tricking the demis, could put some of the power of the Rune Master to those who are wearing them. So it would grant the permissions of whatever Rune Master had been using the ring. Sort of a backdoor to gain the power and permissions of the Rune Masters.
And I think you're the Rune Master by proxy and not by deceit.
Yeah, and the Demi does know that you're not actually the Rune Master, but she is supposed to give you the permissions as if you were.
Cool.
Rune Masters would often use these rings to store spells.
So we're looking for a spell storing ring in a
specific one.
Yeah.
And I think you have a third piece of lore if you want to look into anything else about like the what were you researching? The Rune Masters, yeah.
Yeah. Any idea where I could find one of these rings besides their graves? I don't want to grave rob.
They're not generally buried with them. The tower would usually take them back after a Rune Master died, because they would be valuable to other Rune Masters. So, I mean, there's no specific place you'd find one other than on the body of a fallen Rune Master, assuming he wasn't looted. They can sometimes be identified if you have the identity of the Rune Master, and certain scrying and location spells can be used to find the ring if you have the name of the Rune Master.
And certain scrying and what sort of spells? Location.
Location. Like locating, divination type spells.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I will pass that all along. And so it sounds like we need a little bit more information about the identity of the Rune Master.
And what were you looking into, Riala?
I'm hoping I found like the memoirs of a particular Rune Master, or got some sort of profile on like a specific person, like a name, a location, maybe a little bit about their life.
What did you get? One piece of lore?
Yeah, just one. Yeah.
So, yeah, you probably could have looked up the name of maybe one of the Rune Masters who had accessed the Hollow a lot and was one of the Hollow Keepers.
Okay.
Was there something specific about him you were looking for?
Name, little bit about his life and role among like in the Empire. Maybe some. Like I was kind of hoping, like maybe I found like a memoir or a journal or some reference like that was kind of a profile on this person. So a little bit of personal detail. What's that?
Maybe where they died.
If it's a memoir that's in this library, then it would indicate that they died prior to, when this place got sealed up. Then yeah, they probably. Yeah, I don't know.
So there is one person who you sort of track down some information on. You guys are making me come up with a lot of information on the spot.
Yeah, sorry about that. I mean, if you want to save it till later.
I mean, if it helps, there was like the NPCs that the original Tuesday group encountered. the ghosts of. Like, that could be one of them.
They weren't rune masters, though.
Oh, okay.
It's like they were the opposite.
So there is a rune master called Rune Master Athenian.
Athenian.
Yeah. He was stationed at the Halls of Tarsus, a name that you recognize from, I think it was either Clank or Ophelia spoke of. It doesn't say how he died or if he died. I mean, you assume he died at some point, but it talks about his stationing there, how he helped the priests and the people who were at Tarsus to use the hollow points and made sure the hollow points were kept functional. He seemed like a pretty straightforward guy. I'm not sure what specific more information I can give you about him, but he was stationed at the Halls of Tarsus.
Okay. Was there a birth date or anything?
He would have been around towards the end of the 12th cycle.
Okay. So, still maybe in his prime, like when the cataclysm may have begun, or likely to have passed before the cataclysm?
Probably active during the cataclysm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Assuming that he didn't meet any other unnatural death.
Yeah.
Assuming general lifespans of dwarves, yeah.
It doesn't say anything about him dying, just that he was active around, date-wise, around the end of the 12th cycle. The library doesn't actually mention the end of the 12th cycle, because everyone who would have written about it probably escaped to the underground.
Okay. It's interesting. I don't know if anything will come of it, but it's interesting to make you make stuff up.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so you guys spent your week here. What do you want to do?
Well, it sounds like we should find the Halls of Tarsus. Or what do you guys think? Ophelia, you want to help find more information on to help Eldwin?
Yeah,
I want my...
that's what I was rolling for, is seeing some kind of like possession or.
Oh yeah, we forgot
his case.
Ophelia's, but
well, yeah.
Fortunately, she did not find anything.
She got caught up in, like, I don't know.
Searching for the secret room.
Well, shouldn't we go back and get the other 2 keys to this vault, Alduin says? It's kind of the whole point of this, right? Or, sorry, Elric.
Oh, speaking of, that's a good point. I wonder, I've seen that dagger, right?
Yeah.
Like the one key? Okay. So can I go
Or
over
card
touch the
has it.
pedestal? But I can like imagine it in the hollow?
You assume you can.
Okay. So I want to go touch the hollow, talk to Demi, summon the dagger, and ask Demi what Demi knows of that.
She says the Dagger of Asiok was a gift from the Elven peoples as a sign of alliance between the Elven and Dwarven empires of the 12th cycle. It is a well-known artifact between their 2 peoples.
I have heard that this is one of 3 keys, Demi.
She says, I cannot give information on that. My apologies.
Why can you not give information on that?
I cannot give information on that. My apologies.
Could you give information if I was a rank higher?
She says, more information could be available with a higher rank.
Do you know if there are other keys?
She says, the keys are not something I can give you information on. My apologies.
Do you know what the keys are used for?
The keys are not something I can give information on. My apologies.
uh, oh my gosh. Can you at least tell me if you know? If I had this status, would you be able to tell me?
She says, the Hollow has many different pieces of information, but I can only give you ones that you have permission to gain.
Ugh. Damn it, Demi!
My
Alright.
apologies.
I just disconnected. Don't even say goodbye. I'm all frustrated.
Alright. Well, she seemed to recognize the dagger anyway.
Yeah.
Hutch it again and just jump back in. Demi, where are the halls of Tarsus? You said to the south, right?
She says, so you'd see several maps appear. Do you have survival?
I am not trained in survival now.
Alright, so you don't recognize the areas. They kind of look like the terrain that you traveled to get here. Now, you can give me an untrained check, I guess. So you would see some markings. You don't speak Dwarven, right?
I do.
Oh, you do? So some of the names would not make any sense to you. But you do see where the Alcavian labs are, which is where you are. You would see something called the Dwarven train tunnels, which doesn't make much sense to you. Yeah, you would see the Halls of Tarsus, which seem to be somewhere south. Maybe close to where Highguard or even Char might be. But again, you don't have any training in deciphering maps, so.
Demi, how familiar you are with Highguard?
She says this name is not recognized.
Okay. Alright, thanks, Demi.
Demi's database is a bit behind the times.
Yeah. There's a lot of information to unpack with Demi, though.
Alright,
I'm saying.
so you pop back out.
I relay that to the party.
All right. Do we wish to do continued research, or shall we return to the Alliance work with the various parties embroiled in Char politics?
I mean, nothing's happening because we have one of the artifacts, correct?
Orcard has the dagger.
Orcard has one.
Orcard has one of the artifacts.
And Orcard's people had previously unearthed another, which was then stolen from them.
True.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's up to y'all. Eldwin, Ophelia, what do you want to do?
Rhea rattles off our options, like, oh, we could do this. These are kind of the things we're looking at, but she carefully leaves out ever returning to that crypt. She doesn't leave that. She doesn't list that as an option.
Ophelia, it's like, well, I guess there's 3 broad categories of things we can focus on. One would be Char, one would be the Rune Masters, and one would be Alduin's situation.
Well, I don't know that the first 2 are mutually exclusive.
Elric lowers his breath. He says, I wonder if we could turn those security systems on and use them to regain control of this place.
Wait, what?
As well, I mean, these druids, they are, you know. And he just says, I'm just saying.
They are friends, right, Elric? Friends.
That's what you meant to say.
Is the
He
word
says,
that
yes,
you're
friends. You weren't all so friendly earlier.
They were not, but we have been able to become friends with them. And, better than stay here, friendly to us, than us leave this place empty.
I don't know about that. I don't know if I trust these druids. But
Who you trust?
I'll leave the such wisdoms to you all if you think they're trustworthy. I suppose there's not much to be gained at this point. They already looted the place.
Elric, are you not powerful enough to take back this place later should we decide that they are untrustworthy? Or are you too weak?
He says, I'm not weak, but I'm also not suicidal. One does not take on 20 plus magic users without being slain. Not easily, anyway.
What you wanted to do before.
He says,
not the sign of
it was
a
intimidation
powerful
tactic.
leader?
He says, listen, I had you all backing me, and I was intimidating them. It almost worked too, but then you all got all kumbaya on me and decided not to go along with my intimidation.
Is it not the sign of a powerful leader to let those weaker live rather than slay them?
Eldwin's not going to say anything.
He says, in any case, it was just a thought. If there is a security system to this place and defenses, they could be turned to our side if we ever needed to get rid of these druids.
So Eldwin, what are your thoughts?
Perhaps we should.
Oh, Elduin, what about that crypt where that guy was trying to talk to you? Maybe you should go talk to him some more.
I would, but we have one who objects to this decision.
One?
And Elduin just looks to Rhea.
I believe there's more than one. It's for your own good.
Oh, was I brainstorming incorrectly again? Elric says, giving you a wink, Clank.
May have been.
Just a thought. But I do think that we should probably address the political concerns you all have in Char. If we are to retrieve those keys, we should probably do it in a timely manner before they slip through our fingers.
It sounds like returning to Char puts us en route to these halls of Tarsus. We could continue to attempt to discern their location, since they are somewhere in the vicinity, possibly of Highguard and Char.
Do we have a map to these halls of Tarsus?
I know approximately where it's at. Feeler shrugs.
As well. I suppose that's something.
Is there anyone good with maps among us? Anyone with cartography experience?
Which is basically survival.
Yeah, survival.
Oh, survival? Oh, well, in that case.
I think.
Well, out of character, would this help?
Oh.
Do you have survival training?
I do, yes.
Yeah,
well,
so
he posted the
Wanderer, yeah.
Geography.
So yeah, that would probably help you if you saw a map. You'd be able to remember it, and geographical training would probably give you advantage on the check.
Okay.
You can't get into the hollow to see the map.
Yeah,
this is true.
Can I give Ophelia a piece of paper to draw what she saw?
Could.
Or can I go into the hollow really quickly to ask Demi where the halls of Tarsus are? Use my mimicry feat.
Does anyone have cartographer's tools training?
No.
Alright.
Not until I get an all-purpose tool.
So I think the mimicry is more for sounds. But you could try to draw a map with intelligence to just try to remember it.
Cool.
But, did you say that survival would be adequate as well?
Yeah, if you saw the map, it would be a survival check to see if you could distinguish anything.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Clank. Try your hand at it.
So it's not a save, right?
Oh shoot, my bad.
So it'd be probably just int.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
So
Oh, I saw it too, so I can roll, right?
yeah. Are you both drawing out a map for Elduin?
I'm gonna
work
try to
together
roll
to draw it
Just
out.
everyone's drawing maps. All right.
We're all
You got
working
your
together.
McDonald's crayons. So Elduin, the map is not the best. I'll give you disadvantage, but with the advantage, it'll cancel out. So just give me a survival check.
All right.
13. Yeah, so you're pretty sure the halls of Tarsus would have been in the direct vicinity of Char, either right next to or like right on it.
Okay, and Eldon was just points finger at to exactly where he described it, and you say, "Here."
Cool.
But keep in mind, I cannot go back to Char.
Why can't you
Well-
go back to Char? Elric says.
I killed a priest,
Oh.
as he begrudgingly says.
Well, I never liked priests myself, but that seems a bit
Eldwin, it
harsh.
was not you who killed the
Ophelia
priest.
punches Ulrich.
It was the
Ow.
evil spirit
Heartedly.
that took your life that killed the priest.
Well,
True.
does anyone know that?
But, well,
Yeah,
actually, yeah, actually, good point.
We plan on telling them when we get there.
Why would you do that? They don't need to know.
We must make restitution for the
Oh.
damage
Honesty is the
caused.
best policy.
Oh,
I also-
gods.
I also fear my undead state would scare some people. Perhaps many more.
Well, perhaps we don't need to tell them all the details. Simply that there was a
I can make a
possession or
disguise for
influence.
you.
Exactly. Rhea knows. She's speaking my language.
Well, I'm fully in favor of trying to ensure that the people of Char do hear the story, which you seem to indicate there was no reason to tell them. But the reason to tell them is so that Eldwin may come and go without being ostracized or ridiculed or being, a public enemy.
Well, just
But,
put one of your disguises on him. It'll do the same thing without all the red tape.
How would you like to have to come and go disguised all the time?
What is red tape? I've never heard of that.
Shrugs. He says, I don't know. I think I could put up with it.
But yeah, so what I was
There's a few
suggesting was sorry.
taverns in the capital I can't go into anymore. Still sneak in every now and then.
But what I was suggesting was that we needn't tell them every detail of Eldwin's current status. We could simply tell the truth that there was a influence or possession or evil that controlled his hand in the moment of the crime.
Yes.
And that
Go ahead. Sorry.
Might we rid the crypt of the evil that possessed Eldwin? Because we have not done that yet, and that is just outside of Char.
what happened? I understand that there was a possession and that Eldwin was slain and that he then slayed the priest somehow. But prior to that, you haven't told me what occurred. Did you say there's a crypt that you
Yes.
guys visited? Not the crypts that we've been in here in this place, but prior
Correct.
to my joining you?
Yes, there was a crypt that was releasing undead into a region just outside of Char that we went to rid of the evil. And in the process of doing so, unfortunately, Eldwin's life was taken, and he was possessed by, I believe, a wraith.
I see. I did not realize this.
I guess I would look really nervous that I wasn't supposed to spill that at Eldwin.
Well, I could try to talk to the township for you, Elduin. I have a way with words. I'm sure I could convince these podunk farmers that you meant no ill will.
Well, I think
These people are more than podunk farmers. I consider them almost equal as family as our group here.
It's fine. Well, then these podunk family, whatever you wish me to call them.
But yes, like I said, I believe that it would be valuable to make it known to the leadership of Char and anyone else that we can that there was more to the story than simply a priest was slain. But we don't necessarily need to mention Eldwin's curious animation.
His predicament.
As I think it would be something that would be hard for some to understand or overlook in a objective way.
True.
Well,
I guess we can try.
Yeah, I think we should probably take care of that sooner rather than later, and bring that Iara woman with us, whatever she's planning to do there. You said you had friends in some shady organization?
Yes.
Bloodhand, I believe you called them.
Yes.
So maybe a rendezvous with this organization and see how we can acquire their piece of the key. And then the Blackwater piece of the key. Might have some words with him as he stole my family's dagger from me.
It seems we are trying to violently take that from Blackwater. Elric.
Says, you read my mind.
So the one that the hobgoblins dug up that was stolen, was that the one that Blackwater now holds? Rio would ask. Because I believe that Orchard said that they had come here and uncovered one of the keys while allied with Blackwater, and then it was stolen from them, and Blackwater betrayed them. So that is why they raided the caravan and stole the dagger. Am I understanding correctly?
I think he mentioned something of ring, Elric says.
Okay. Who holds that ring now? Do we know? Or have we been able to trace where it went after it was taken?
I believe Blackwater holds it.
Or at least Orchard believes that. And then that's what we're going on. Okay, all right. Just checking exactly what the party has been told. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Another magic ring?
One of the keys.
What if it's not just a key? What if it's one of the rune masters?
Well, the dagger held properties separate from being a key, so that's not impossible. Elduin said, or Elric says.
And if you were going to make extraordinarily unique and magical keys to guard some important vault, perhaps you would want to use items of meaning or power. Yeah.
But then why would Elric's family heirloom be one of those items of power?
Well, if this vault is very ancient.
Says, why are you all suddenly looking at me accusingly?
Oh, I'm not. I'm just wondering why somebody so weak would have so much power.
You test my patience, bird. That's why I love you.
Items that have been, hoarded for hundreds of years or thousands, perhaps, we don't know. You've mentioned an ancient vault, but I know not what kind of age we're talking about. But regardless if it is one cycle or more, these items can sometimes, be stored away and then forgotten and then rediscovered, and people might treasure them or know some of their power but not know their whole story. It's very normal for items of antiquity to move through hands as the years go on.
So then it is not an Eldenspell family heirloom. They simply found it.
Says, well,
it's just trying to rile him up.
I mean, ownership is 9/10 possession, he says.
Yes.
If you trace any royal family lineage back far enough, you'll find a thief. What were you inciting, Ophelia?
Whether or not Elric actually loves Clank.
I mean, you get the feeling he more tolerates him. You don't know about love. He seems like he finds his pokes kind of annoying, but also like he's getting more used to them. I mean, I can't speak for Nate, but that's how I kind of read them.
How do we intend to instruct Orkar to proceed? If he is allied with us now, of course it'd be helpful for him to be close or to travel with us, but I don't know that it's wise to march hobgoblins into Char after the attacks that they previously raided upon.
He does still have a pretty big army. If we did march on Char, we could probably just take the two pieces and not even have to share with these Bloodhand or Blackwater.
I'm not interested in shedding Char blood.
Oh yes, right. Yes. The family. My apologies. Again, brainstorming.
Yeah, that's definitely not a good
Lou's
idea.
having a little too much fun.
A little too much fun.
Eldwin's, or in Eldric's head.
Perhaps we can try to establish a meeting between potentially an envoy from Orkard's army and an envoy from Char.
We
did talk about the peace treaty signing.
I don't know. Didn't the Iron Tide just attack the town recently? I mean, there's probably going to be some bad blood there still.
Which is why we wanted to go through the Bloodhands.
That might be the wiser move. Yeah, keep it quiet.
Keep it quiet.
It seems
but
that
if you plan to move against, if you plan to move against Blackwater, you may need to have some story for the leadership of Char, else you will make yourselves an enemy by moving against a citizen of the town, a prominent citizen.
It's true.
I believe we have notes from between Orkart and Blackwater, bringing Blackwater, or having Blackwater bring Orkart and the Bloodhand into Char to siege them.
Well, I can tell you right now what Blackhand will say. Or, sorry, Blackwater. He will say they were forgeries. He will deny it. And the town will believe him because he pays all the bills. That's how being a noble works.
Yes.
You would know that, Elric.
Oh, of course.
Well, friends, what do you think?
Well, I have my doubts about some of these alliances you guys have planned, but you've already, I believe, struck them with this Bloodhound and with Orkard. So I would say, though, that it's not wise for us to bring any of the hobgoblins into Char.
I do not argue with that. Ophelia, Eldrin, what do you think?
I think we can get a peace treaty to be signed from the Bloodhand and present that as an offering to Char to stop bloodshed. They may not agree with it at first, but it is the quickest path I see to stop all bloodshed.
Is there bloodshed still occurring in Char now? The hobgoblins are no longer attacking, right?
Correct. And we can lay claim to ending that siege, per se.
And I do not wish to have them possibly have further interactions and then cause fights to break out because they did not know that peace has been struck and start this fight all over again.
Which they are you meaning?
The people of Char and the Iron Tide encampment. There are still going to be run-ins, I'm sure, between the two factions, and I do not wish, if they do run in, I'd rather wish everybody knows that the peace treaty has been struck, so they do not immediately assume the other is an enemy.
Well, I think that the part of the conversation we're having here is that the unlikelihood that the people of Char would easily accept a treaty with the hobgoblins because they were so recently attacked by the hobgoblins,
and I don't think the hobgoblins are willing to give up much to bring peace.
Well,
They already released the prisoners, and they said they would sign a peace treaty.
I tell you this: if you are going to move against Blackwater, and then you say you are allied with the Iron Tide, you will immediately make yourself an enemy of the town,
That I do believe.
Yeah,
regardless of
it
what the
doesn't.
truth is.
Sure.
From the perspective of the people of the town, they've been attacked by hobgoblins. They've lost neighbors or soldiers or family members to the hobgoblins' raids, and their town has been supported by Blackwater for many years. Why
Yes.
would you accept a very new to the area mercenary group who allies with these hobgoblins and attacks your patron? I think that I don't think that our words can explain that away
I'm not
easily.
saying we go against Blackwater yet, um, but that can come in due time, and I feel like we might need concrete evidence. But in the meantime, I wish for the humans of Char and the Iron Tide to no longer fight, and to let it be known that we have struck a peace accord between them. I do not see the people. I see the people. They might be frustrated by the peace treaty, but at the same point in time, they can also rest assured, knowing they may harbor grudges, but they can rest assured knowing that
But
they
they
are
will
not
not
going to be
shed blood.
wantonly attacked anymore, and the people can return to their farms.
Now, did you guys root out the Iron Tide forces that were raiding the farms? I forget. In this
Yes,
group,
I believe so.
Yes.
you did kill them. Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of like on the way here.
Well, I guess that could be a piece of the story then too. Like if we're really going to tell the town about that we've Iron Tide, which I'm not sure is a good idea, but if we're going to, then including the piece that the actual bands who carried out the raids have been wiped out, then that might be a little softer, easier to swallow, I guess.
And the fact that all their people have been returned, I think, is a big
Well,
bonus as well.
yeah, some of the slaves that survived and weren't killed in the original raids. Not all people, there were deaths on both sides.
But I think we might rid the crypt that diseased Elduin before we get back to town.
And that may also give us some more information about the ruins, I think, in the halls of Tarsus. If, Link, show us on the map where the halls of Tarsus is, and see if Elduin knows.
I thought I already did show you guys.
Elduin,
Elduin
pointed it out on the
know?
map.
Are they like perfectly overlapping the previous crypt and the halls?
Not the previous crypt. They're overlapping the town of Char. That would make possibly some sense, as there are some old structures that are in Char that are from the 12th cycle.
Cool.
But
maybe we investigate those.
Yeah, so maybe at some point the halls of Tarsus were where the town was.
The Therian Empire was all over what is now the Teruvian Empire, and so it's very possible that some of the Teruvian settlements and structures have been built, have utilized older ruins or been built on top of the ruins of.
Yeah, it would basically encompass the Drogoth and the Teruvian Empire. It was huge.
Oh, okay. The Drogoth is the one to the north right now, right?
It's the current Dwarven Empire, yes.
Yeah, okay.
I say we head back to Char with all this new information, with our peace treaty, not so much a peace treaty, but with peace, with the Iron Tide, the fact that they were no longer attacked, and on the way back, we clear the crypt that diseased Elduin, and figure out some way to make restitution with the Temple of Palor, which is the only damage Elduin did was against the Temple of Palor.
Would like for us to get Orchard have that peace thing in writing to present as well.
Cool, yeah, we could do that, that's fine. But I think, the Iron Tide are no longer going to attack the people of Char. And that's something we could bring back to Char and move forward with there.
And I think we must also insist that the Iron Tide delve no deeper into the Dwarven ruins in this area.
That seems wise.
Does anyone care what my opinion is?
You want your dagger back, right?
Yeah.
This as well. The dagger, yes. I think we should just tell Char that we defeated the evil Iron Tide, and they will proclaim us heroes. And then the Iron Tide just stays nice and hidden out here.
That leaves a lot of room for the possibility that it is later revealed that the Iron Tide have not been wiped from the surface of this planet, and
well, maybe they came back after we drove them away.
Or we can say that we beat them so badly that they
signed a peace
treaty, so we no longer.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that subtle delivering fragments of truth without giving them all the details, I believe, is much more sustainable than outright lies.
He says, I just know peasants, and I know that they don't have much of a mind for intricacies. Iron Tide is bad. They killed their families. That's what they'll say. If we say, well, they're friends now.
And we make sure
that's why
that they
I wanted
will no
to
longer
simplify the story instead of giving too many details.
Say they can go back to their farms without having to worry about being attacked any longer.
Yes, if we say we drove them off, then yes, the farmland should be safe, and they'll proclaim us heroes. And then we just have the Iron Tide stay nice and away from Char. I mean, we are 3 days from Char.
But we've also allied with these Iron Tide and agreed that they will accompany us on the mission to Issyk, or to the mission for finding the vault, right?
Yeah. So, and sorry if I'm playing Elric too much. I can just shut up. I just thought I would.
No, you're fine. I'm just no. This is a legit like if Elric said that, then Rio would be like, but we're planning to travel with these these hobgoblins later and be in the company
of. I don't think we ever agreed to that. I think we just agreed to peace.
That's the whole reason that Orkard agreed to our peace.
Yeah, Orkard did. You did agree to help him find this vault because he needs to recoup his losses. Yeah. And the group said,
not gonna give us that dagger unless we're working with him or we're taking it from his dead fingers.
Yeah, he had said the most important part is gaining the other two pieces, one off the Bloodhand Woman and one off Blackwater. And then with all three pieces, you and the Iron Tide could get this vault and both be very prosperous.
So if you all agree differently, then I won't impede your plan. But I do still feel that giving some bits of truth without too much detail that is an easier deception to sustain than outright lying that we've wiped out the Bloodhand or the Iron Tide. In fact, going to be traveling with them deeper into the Truvian Empire in the future.
Yeah, we agree. Elric's the only one who doesn't agree. We have rid the Iron Tide of the land, and they are no longer going to attack Char, right? That's where we stand.
Yes, and that's the overall story we should tell. That the Iron Tide are not a threat, and they've been driven out.
Well, the former part of your statement, I agree with. Saying that they've been driven out when they have not, I think, is a recipe for us to have more trouble later. Yeah.
We don't need to tell that, but that's where we have 3 days travel to get back to Char, where we can discuss this.
He nods. He says, well, whatever you decide to do, I'm sure I'll be doing all the convincing, so just tell me what our story is and I'll work on it. Alright, so the group is planning to head back?
Yes.
Alright.
Eldwin, do you feel comfortable going through the crypt that you were diseased in? And clearing that out?
I can't run away from my past.
I think that is one of the ways we make restitution with the priests representative of Paylor in Char.
That's a good thought, actually.
I will do it.
And it also may bring answers to you.
Then yes, I will do it.
All right.
Cool.
So, are you taking Iara with you, as Orcard requested?
I'm fine with that.
Sure.
Isn't he still diseased?
Elduin technically is. We haven't taken a long rest yet.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, well, yeah, we've actually done 5, so we
Oh.
can roll for those to see if you shake the disease.
You're undiseased.
Okay. 14?
I believe that is what you needed. So I think you would shake the disease on your first day.
Man, you got a constitution of +5? That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a burly boy.
Yeah. Talk about a tank.
Matt.
I'm a big boy.
+7.
All right.
Oh, that's...
So you get Iara, and I assume you're taking off.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll load up on
I mean, we would
supplies.
probably take our leave of Orcard and his lieutenant and tell them to hang out and wait for our word and
Says, "Oh yes,
answer any of those questions." Yeah.
I will be digging here, trying to find more artifacts, just in case this Isik thing doesn't go well."
Are there any messages we can carry for you, Orcard?
Messages to who?
The Blood Hand or Blackwater or the town
He
of
says, "Yeah, you can stab them with the blade. That'll be my message to them."
Perfect.
Wait, what blade?
Says, "Whatever blade you wish. I wish them both dead. Whatever it takes to get their pieces."
You said the blade. I didn't know if you were gonna like.
Oh, I said a blade.
Oh, okay, sorry.
But stab them with a blade. That's my message. Yes. Yeah.
Would you mind signing this paper saying you are no longer going to attack the humans?
He says, I suppose I could. Would the humans trust something like that from me after all the damage we've done?
I think time may recuperate, but it will at least put the farmers at ease so they can return to their farms and continue harvesting food.
He shrugs and says,
at the very least.
Suppose, he reads it over. And it's basically just like a declaration that the Iron Tide aren't going to attack Char.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll sign that. Says, if this helps.
Should it be countersigned by a member of our party as a agreement that's two-sided, or it's a treaty?
He says, I don't really have as much of this in my empire. Usually wars end when one side is imprisoned or slain, or both. So I'm not sure what the what is required of such a treaty.
All right. Well, let us be on our way then.
I sign it real quick too.
Yeah, we could at least assign it as witnesses or something, like at least one or two of us. Yeah.
Before we leave, can I pick up a bunch of rations from Orcard's camp?
Yeah, the quartermaster would sell them to you at book price.
Book price. Cool. Perfect. Thank you.
And why don't we do a break? Ooh, it's already 8 o'clock. Jeez. Alright, yeah, let's do a little break here and use the restroom and everything. I'll be back.
Same here.
It's a massive lore dump. I loved it.
I will say that this cave where Eldwin was cursed, I don't know this. Out of character, I don't know this cave.
Oh, yeah. It was something new that we brought in on. I hadn't seen it before in any of my other games.
Yeah, I had made an assumption about where Eldwin, like when you guys kind of gave me, like you mentioned that Eldwin had become cursed and like he had died in like the priest thing and everything, but like I was making an assumption about him having been cursed somewhere else. So I didn't realize until today, the descriptions today, that there was something else in play here. I'm like, oh, someplace new. Woo, let's go clear it out.
Yeah. I think that is going to be the first step in making restitution.
Yeah, and I think I agree.
And we
that
also
makes a lot of
haven't
sense.
been there. We didn't finish clearing it out. I would hate for undead.
And you guys have
continue
probably
wandering
gained.
out.
You've gained at least one level, but has it been more since you were there last?
Oh man,
3,
like 3
4.
levels.
Wow. Okay. I wonder
I
if
think
Lou
we're like
will.
level 2.
Yeah, I wonder if Lou will scale it or if it will be easy to clear out.
And it was tough. We cleared like 2 rooms, and we got into a room where we basically got fucked, and Elduin died.
Yeah, I made the silly mistake of locking a pick or lockpicking as a barbarian.
Using a sledgehammer.
Honestly, I think it is easier to die at level 1, 2, maybe 3 than it is 4 through at least 10, maybe 12. Like you're so squishy.
Yeah,
it was rough.
Yeah.
And then we like went back. It was all somber for like an hour as we take Elduin's body back and prepare funeral rites and shit.
Yeah, and then
party with mourning.
It's not often that a character dies in these games.
Yeah, I've seen it a few times.
Yeah.
Often in the first couple levels. And I've seen. Well, the thing is once you get to 6 or 8, your party has Revivify. Your party has more heals. Your party isn't as squishy. So like I've seen PC deaths that were raised, but they weren't permanent deaths. You know what I mean? So, and then you start to get up high once you get over 10 or 12. It gets real tough again because you've got you start to get enemies that have like some real mean spells.
Yeah.
Lou tried to kill my barrel.
Your barrel?
Barrel, my Monday character that's been in his game since April 2020. Because she's level 14 now, so the enemies hit so hard. It was like, what was it? It was a spell where they just point at you and you're dead. Like she had like, I mean, it was
it magic word death or something like that?
Yes, a power word death or something like that.
There you go. Yeah, power word death.
Yeah, and but someone was able to raise dead, or I forget if it was raise dead or resurrect or whatever. I got lucky.
Yeah. Turning to stone. I've seen several people get turned to stone, and or something like that.
Shadows would never do that.
Shadows.
The raids at low levels with low strength characters. Those raids that do the strength drain.
Strength drain, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Fuck those things.
I had a character in the original Tuesday game. My character, she was an elderly halfling. So I asked Lou, I was like, can I take her strength down to 6? Because it just feels like it fits. And he's like, well, as long as I don't stack the strength on my primary stat, those 2 that I'm moving around. So I put them in like intelligence or something, because she was a wisdom build. But anyway, so she had 6 strength. And then we got into fights with these raids where if they touch you, they drain your strength. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to die. She survived.
That's what took Oscar.
Oh yeah,
it almost took
my first character, and it also almost took you too, Rhea.
Oh yeah. Well, Rhea has 8 strength, so yeah, she is pretty weak, and they only touched her once, so she wasn't in the worst shape. She just, if she had gotten touched more than once,
you to 4.
Oh, yeah.
It took
that's right. It was a really big hit, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay.
You were between 1 and 2 more hits,
and I think, you don't die at 0. You die at 2 or 3, don't you?
You die at 0, I think. For strength? But there's no reviving from that.
Yeah, okay. So it's 0 strength you do. I was thinking there was something with one of the stats where you are basically a vegetable before you actually hit 0, but I can't remember. I might be thinking of an older edition or something too. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, 4 is scary, to be at 4 and still be in a room with those things.
Yeah, like 6 of them.
Oh my, yeah. Oh, but that squishy little halfling with a strength of 6, she made it to level 14 before that grip fell apart. And she had some pretty pivotal moments where she raised other members of the party who went down. She was a healer.
Do you have Revivify as well?
No, but I will soon.
Okay.
Because I'm multi-classed, I have 3rd level spell slots, but not 3rd level spells yet. But yeah, Rhea will be able to be a backup for Ophelia once we get another level or 2.
I have one. I can do 1 Revivify, and I am 50 more Majo away from 2. So that works out pretty well. That 400 really came in clutch. That's gonna help.
Yeah, I mean, I thought about that, like when you were taking the components. I'm like, it doesn't make any sense for me to carry them for another couple levels. Yeah.
So you would use religious components as well?
Yeah, because I think because I get that spell from my cleric levels, I think Lou rules that as religious, even though in character, my character's flavored where she's not from any kind of divine training at all.
And we also have like 150 gold piece of universal components if anybody ever needs.
Universal components. Interesting.
Yeah.
As soon as you get the Revivify Rhea, we'll hook you up with either enough religious.
Oh yeah,
or
we'll
universal to give
we'll
you
have
a
more
Revivify
wealth.
as
We'll
well.
have more wealth, and we'll have more components by then anyway. Also, we could start refining some of the essences that we've been collecting along the way whenever we had downtimes, and start making refined components that way.
Eldwin, what's your big, like I know you're curse. Are we trying to solve that curse?
Whew,
Or are you enjoying where you're at?
I would like to. I would like to try to solve my curse, but at the same time, there's something that there are more pressing matters to take care of.
Yeah, next time we got downtime, remind me, and I'll look into that. Totally forgot.
I guess we could have asked the druids what kind of healing abilities they have, but I mean, it would have been a long shot, and then we would have revealed a lot of Eldwin's situation, which I don't know how they would have reacted to. So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either, but yeah, I'd rather focus. Let's focus on the char and crypt thing first, or the char thing, whichever we were gonna do first.
Do you have any ways you think we could? I mean, and also Ophelia, how could we make restitution for the death of a priest at the Temple of Kalor?
I think the evidence of the crypt that we clear out, maybe even giving them some of the essences and components that we collect, because they could be part of it.
Good point.
I think explaining the situation that Eldwin was possessed and influenced. We don't have to talk about his death, but just the possession and the influence, and that it was another consciousness controlling his hand in that moment, I think is important.
And don't forget, I have expertise in disguise kits.
I think that might be valuable maybe at first. It could be a good idea to
over time,
not
disguise will fall apart.
We have we want the opportunity to go to them and explain things and offer whatever restitution we have planned before, like, we march into town and he gets recognized and possibly they jump on us, depending on how many people know the story or what the rumors have become of what happened,
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. And we don't know what's been going on at Char for, a couple weeks?
Rhea's never been to Char, yeah. She only knows what you guys have been telling her. Well, she probably knew of Char, but she's been traveling this plane for about a decade. She's been up here in the wilds with Fudloy for the last 2 years. So.
All right. Are we ready to head back?
Travel.
Onwards.
Let's see if we can take some swings at some ghoulies before the session ends.
So, are you heading back to Char, or are you going to go looking for the crypt first?
I think we were looking.
Yeah,
And
the
while we're
crypt.
heading there, because I figure we got more than a day, can I cast Locate Object for one of the Rune Master's rings?
Isn't that within like 1,000 feet?
It is.
Alternatively, the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon. The spell can't locate an object through thickness of lead, even a thin sheet, if any of it blocks a direct path between me and the object.
So, a particular kind would be like a ring, not like the ring of a rune master. That would be more specific, I believe.
Well, and even with that closest clause, would that still be subject to the spell's radius, or would it extend beyond the 1,000 feet?
I would assume it would still be under the 1,000 feet.
I took the alternatively as the previous sentence and then the sentence after. So the spell can locate a specific object, or the spell can locate the nearest object of a particular kind. I didn't see it as exclusive to the distance, but I wasn't sure what your ruling was on that.
Yeah, I would guess it would still have to be within the 1,000 feet. You can either locate a specific object or
a general object.
Yeah, or like a general object. Like it would be the nearest, maybe the nearest, Rune Master's ring. But not like just the nearest Rune Master's ring on the planet. It would still be within the 1,000 feet, I believe. Yeah.
Silly wording.
Yeah, for a second level divination, it'd be really powerful. It could just be like anywhere in the world.
I was thinking it might just give you like a direction or something. But
yeah, I believe both is the 1,000 feet. But Iara would say, wait, what is this? We're going to a crypt. I thought we were heading to town.
Yes.
No, we would have told her before we left what our course was. She does not have to enter the crypt with us, but the party said it's on the way. Is that not true?
It's sort of on the way. It's
like
it's not
burning off the trail.
Yeah, it's a little bit to the south of the trail you're going on, but it's on the general direction. She would say, all right, if you're going to go there, I might just I guess wait for you there. I mean, it would be foolish of me to go to Char alone. They would probably shoot me if I approached the gate. Well, racists.
This mission, this errand, besides needing to be done, as these creatures are foul and need to be eradicated, besides that, this errand will aid our efforts in Char. It is part of our plan, for Eldwin's acceptance and our party's acceptance there, that will assist with the other alliances we are attempting to make and have the citizens of Char.
She says, I don't doubt it. I'm just not I'm not really a killer of things that are already dead.
Well,
maybe you hang outside. Yeah.
You could be our lookout. We would appreciate actually having someone at our back.
She says, yeah, I guess I could do that. All right, so give me a survival check from up to 2 of you as you travel.
This time, please.
I got.
Oh.
You guys.
Yeah, go for it.
14.
Yeah.
All right, so the trip takes 3 days. Do you have anyone with Outlander?
I would check out an Elwin.
Yeah, Eldwin had it, didn't he? He posted Wanderer, which is the feature.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So I think he can feed how many?
6.
6? All right. So he
I
could
believe.
mostly feed your group. So I guess you
You
wouldn't have
want
to
me
worry
to
about food.
find a few rations?
Does Ira need any?
Oh, Ira has her own
Yeah.
supplies. As long as you don't take
Cool.
like more than a week, she's fine.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, we can say that your ranger was able to hunt down food for the party, so you wouldn't spend rations on this trip.
Cool.
3 days would pass as you may get turned around a bit. Those weren't the best rolls. Well, 14 is okay. So you arrive at the crypt. It is where you left it. It's still, the entrance is still there. It's now the 27th of fall.
I'd rather roll that 7 for my survival check than for when we're facing ghoulies.
Yeah, a saving throw or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say you arrive there around 11 a.m. in the morning. The entrance is pretty much how you left it. The bushes are covering the stairs going down, and a foul smell is coming from below. Now, I think you did find an alternate entrance, right?
Yes.
So, which entrance do you want to use?
I'd say the alternate. Yeah, the alternate.
Into the cage?
Yes.
Wait, we're going into a cage?
Yeah.
It's okay.
Alright, so you climb...
I mean, it's easy for you to get through, Rhea. You could just transform into a little bug.
Well, you can all fit in the vents. There's enough room for you all to crawl through. You get back to the cage where the dead hobgoblins were. Their corpses are still there. Quite a bit of stink coming off them now.
Is that how you guys found it? Like tracking hobgoblins here?
We actually ran into some undead. We tracked undead back to here while we were looking for hobgoblins.
Okay.
And while we were in here, we discovered that there was an entrance leaving.
So you climb down into this area. And yeah, there's still a bunch of bones in here, along with the hobgoblins. And actually, I think at this point, the hobgoblins would have been mostly eaten. So they probably would have been torn apart.
Oh, well, that's not what I wanted to see.
But it's quiet for now in this place.
I guess my temp HP would be gone. Wah, wah.
Yeah. You would be fully rested, though.
Yep.
What do you want to do?
Well, friends, shall we move forward?
I'm going to be prepared in the moment I hear anything besides us. I'm going to... I guess, would that be able to prep an emboldening bond, or would I have to just, like, do it now?
I mean, you could cast it now and it would last for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Cool. And we'll run through as quickly as we can. Is this altar here similar to what we saw with Demi?
No, that's just a pedestal. Cool. It looks like it still has the same dark markings on it. Might be some kind of sacrificial table. Stains of blood tell a tale of someone dying on it.
This is a foul place.
Yes, that is why we must rid it.
Clank and Elduin, you guys also have emboldening bond?
Alright.
Cool. I'm gonna...
What's your passive perception, Clank?
10.
So you think you would hear movement over this way.
I will pass that along.
As you start walking down the hallway, the movement would stop.
So, Ophelia, what's your proficiency? How many people have the bomb? Just 3?
3, yeah.
Oh, I guess we all have the same proficiency, though. I was thinking of it like, yeah, anyway. Yeah. Just checking.
Clank, do you think it could be the ghouls again? As he whispers.
It very well could be. It might be the ghosts' shadows as well. Rhea, you should stay away. Let us protect you.
I do not wish to be too far behind you, though, either, as we've had many of these undead creatures go through walls.
That is a good idea. So I guess, friends, shall we slowly start moving forward?
Certainly.
Affirmative.
And Clank's going like 5 feet at a time, super cautiously.
I'm gonna be right in the middle.
Okay.
I'm gonna turn the corner.
I'm going to try and stay 5 or 10 feet behind Ophelia, but not like far behind.
So the hallway would go south into darkness, lighting up with your torch light source. You would see the end of the hallway. Looks clear so far. You would notice kind of at the edge here some bloody markings on the ground. Look like they might be a few days old.
Point that out to the crew.
Definitely newer than your last visit here.
Potentially.
I imagine the creatures here were hungry.
Rhea's like hiding behind Eldwin now since Ophelia has moved ahead.
Alright, so as you turn a corner, you would see what looks like a farmer who's been torn up by something. Partially eaten and entrails scattered about.
These motherfuckers.
I'm
gonna do a quick check on him and see if there's any chance of him coming back to life.
No, he's very dead. He's been dead for a while. You also would see the spiky pit that is still opened up here.
Well, friends, shall we head to the south or continue straight to the west?
What about that room we discovered that was the scene of my death?
That was to the south, correct?
Or was that to the north?
That was to the north, yeah.
I think it was in this room, right?
I think we go this way.
Cool.
And
Let's go.
What is it? It was that trap door, I think. We tried going down.
Tried.
I think we were. Yeah. Let's go. I will go first.
Alright, so you step carefully around the spike pit, heading north towards the room of Elduin's demise.
I want to keep an eye out if there's any traps or anything as we're walking.
You haven't seen any so far, other than the spike pit one that's already been triggered. So the rug is still rolled up in the room, and the trapdoor is still sitting there. I don't remember if you had opened the trapdoor.
We unlocked it. Or I smashed the lock, and that caused the wraith to come and kill me.
That's right.
I think we got out of there pretty quickly afterwards.
Alright, so yeah, the trapdoor is still closed then. Lock laying on the floor next to where you smashed it.
Friends, do you want to step out of the room? I have a mage hand I can use to open this from a distance, in case it be dangerous.
You would hear what sounds like some water dripping down below.
I'm gonna step about 30 feet away, and then use... Once everybody gives me a thumbs up, I'll use mage hand to open the trapdoor.
Eldwin gets a thumbs up.
Be ready.
Alright.
Rhea looks a little green and gives you a thumbs up.
So the trapdoor would open. Nothing springs out of it, no traps as far as you can tell.
Cool. Then I will scoot forward. I think it is safe, my friends.
Is there a rock or something nearby?
Maybe. There could be one sitting around.
You are carrying a light rock from me.
I find a rock, I cast light on it, and I throw it down the hole.
So the hole drops down about 20 feet to a gross-looking, like a maybe mildewy area where little streams of water are flowing through down below. This looks like it might be some sort of old, like, sewer tunnel under this place, maybe? Though obviously no one has used the sewers for quite a while, at least no one living. But yeah, there's a tunnel down there.
Do you want to go down, friends, or should we finish exploring this?
How much of this level did you traverse previously, or is there much to explore yet?
There's
This is
two
where we-
routes we did not check.
Yeah.
I think perhaps it would be better for us to check here first. It's all black to me. Like I see your pings,
Cool.
but it's all black to me because I haven't been there yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't want anything to come down on us from above if there are dangers still here. That's my thought. I'm fine with whatever you guys decide, though.
I
And
agree.
maybe there's something heavy we could put on top of this so we make sure nothing comes up.
What about this dresser?
It wasn't disturbed before this, Clank. You think just opening it will disturb it? The lock was already removed.
Oh, okay. Then let's just leave it.
Cool. Sounds good.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Close it.
Maybe.
So you close up the trap door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'm going to close this door behind us.
All right.
Clank, you have little you're able to make little objects do fun little mechanical things, right?
It is one of my hobbies, yes.
But do you have to do it when you have time to work on it for a bit, or can you do it instantaneously?
I think it takes about 6 seconds or so.
Oh, well, maybe you could enchant a rock or something small that we leave on top of that door to scream if the door opens or something like that.
That's a great idea. Magic Tinker. I think that's an action. Maybe.
Screech like a banshee,
yeah,
and then we
as
won't
an
know if
action.
it's the
Yep.
rock or the banshee.
Squawk. It'll squawk like Clank does.
Oh, that's perfect.
But there's
agitated and frightened Clank, very loud.
Yeah.
All right. So you leave a rock there that squawks.
Yeah, if it's disturbed.
Okay.
Maybe leave the door open so we hear better, so the sound travels further. I don't know that an unlocked door is going to prohibit things very much. Just a thought.
Cool. Perfect. Thank you.
Alright.
That is wise, Rhea.
Very handy little skills you have, Clank.
All right. So
Well,
as
Patrick.
you get to the turn here, you start to hear a bunch of footsteps coming from both the east and the west.
Oh.
As if several things are coming towards your location.
Defend this
ready?
position.
Prepare for battle.
Defend this position right in front of the pit.
Cool.
Yeah, I think I might go
Identify
ahead.
yourselves.
A moment later, you would see the four of you step into the light from both sides.
Four of
Four
us.
of us.
And Ria would say, Sabrak will always find you. Give me an initiative roll.
Zabrak, that's what was associated with that mace thing you got, wasn't it?
Yes.
And Elric would go, oh god, they found me. And one of them would
found
say, give us the cursed one, and the rest of you may live.
Wait, wait, who? Not a.
Our
You said-
Elric.
Yeah.
So you said the four of us, so we're like seeing mimics of ourselves?
Yeah, basically it's all of you with those purple eyes.
Oh, gotcha.
Oh dear.
So scary. Wait, so that's right, he's still cursed too because the remove curse didn't work. Ugh. Okay.
Alright, is everyone
Alex,
on
you
there?
brought these to us?
He says, I've done nothing of the sort. Defend me.
You're not even here. You're in the background.
Alright, so the first act is going to be the Tulpa. I'll say this is Clank's Tulpa. So Clank is going to move towards Clank. And he is going to use Imposing Dread.
Ah, that doesn't sound good.
I need a wisdom save from all of you.
From everyone?
Yeah, everyone
gonna
within
use
40
my-
feet.
Kenku recall to get advantage on this.
Alright,
Oh,
so...
I just made it.
Alright, did you all make it?
Oh, I didn't roll. I thought I was okay. I meant 35 feet. Okay, so let me. It was
Wisdom.
wisdom. Okay, sorry.
So psychic energy sort of riddles the area, though luckily you would all resist it. Riala.
Oh, I think that I'm gonna.
There's a bit of dread in all of you as your hairs stand on end, but none of you were affected.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna cast. Let's put bless on myself and. Alduin and Ophelia. It's so hard to choose. So yeah. And yeah. And then I think that I'm going to hold any bonus actions. That's my turn.
Alright, so mark yourselves with bless and with concentration. This Tulpa, who I will say is Elduin, is going to
Same thing. Okay.
look towards Clank. Use its multi-attack.
Okay.
Oh, who didn't get it?
So
You're
it
blessed, Ophelia.
it looks like
I should have done Clank because he's in a.
it looks like Elduin, but when he raises his hand up, there's a very sickish-looking black claw where Elduin's hand should be. Slashing once, 22 versus AC.
That's gonna hit. I'm gonna use my reaction to try to blind it.
Alright, so you would take 17 necrotic.
Ooh.
And it has to make a con save. As the black hand would drain a bunch of life force from you. It would fail the con save.
Can I react? Let me see. Am I in range?
Ooh, that hurts.
Sorry. Yeah, I want to do 60 feet. Yeah, so I'll silvery barb that.
Alright, just try to let me know a little earlier, but...
I'm sorry, I was trying to find the button because it's she just got it with this level up, so it's,
Alright, so he will roll again. Let's see, Black Claw, oh, no, that's gonna miss. So second attack slashes at you. Ooh, but 20 versus AC?
And I would give him advantage from the silvery barbs.
Okay, so Clank, you would have advantage. Would 20 hit you?
Yeah, and I'm going to use my reaction to try to blind this creature.
Alright, so blind on that one. So 12 necrotic damage, and he'll make a con save.
That's way better. Thank you, Rhea.
Oh, no, he will fail and become blinded by your magic. As he backs off a bit, now seemingly unable to see you. That is it for that one. This Tulpa, what's this other thing they do? Is going to stare at Elduin as its eyes glow. Luckily, it would miss you with its psychic blast, ending its turn. Ophelia.
Alright, Spirit Guardians.
Nice. I love that spell.
Alright.
And what is that? A 30-foot radius?
15.
No, it's 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay.
So a bunch of
Doesn't matter.
radiant energy springs forth from you, encompassing several of the tulpan. You could use whatever color you want.
Okay. I am going to move 5 feet this way. And as my bonus action, I am going to telekinetic shove this guy into the pit.
Alright.
Should be, I don't know why it's DC 11.
So strength save.
Spell save, right?
Yeah, it should be 15.
If you open that spell and then change the save from like your spell to some other ability and then change it back, it usually resets it when it's messed up like that.
Alright, so he's going to try to make an athletics check to not fall. But he would fail, falling into the pit, taking
Crunch.
fall damage and spike damage.
How deep is that pit?
It's only 10 feet, but there are spikes. So he takes 9 points of damage, falling prone at the bottom of the
That's pretty
pit.
good.
Very good, yeah.
Alright, that's all I'm gonna do.
That's
All right.
beautiful.
Thank you, Ophelia.
This tulpa would start in your range and has to make a wisdom save.
Blanket.
12, I believe, would fail. So what would he take?
Just double checking right now. Was it 3d8?
I believe so, yeah. 3d8 radiant.
Yep. Perfect.
So he takes 24 points as he seems to be vulnerable. Becoming wounded. He is then going to move here and attempt to blast Ophelia.
Ooh.
Luckily, that would miss. Clank.
Cool. So, this guy... Yeah, cool. I'm gonna swing at that guy.
Alright, what are you swinging at him with?
Gauntlets.
Okay, so you would have advantage because he can't see you.
Cool. And I think I infused these with... Oops. I forgot to click it with my radiant weapon. So, I assume...
Yeah, 24 would strike.
Cool. That's one.
Doing 3 thunder. So actually it would be half, so it would be 4 thunder. These seem to be resistant to thunder damage. Crackle, crackle. Now, do you get the +1 on all these? I thought Emboldening Bond was only 1 attack.
Oh, this is for my radiant weapon.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. You could probably just add it to the calculations.
Cool. You prefer that?
Because or else it's going to do things like double it if you crit. So it might just be easier to have like a... Yeah. Or just like let me know and we can manually add it. But yeah, alright, so 21 would strike, doing another 6 points of thunder damage. There's another loud crackle and boom as you punch him.
Does he not have advantage because he's blinded?
Oh, that's true, you have advantage, so that would be a crit. So 10 points, so another 4. And the creature is now supposed to attack you, I believe.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna bonus action defensive field to give me temp HP up to my level.
Okay.
6.
Elduin.
Alright, Elduin is gonna rage.
All right.
As he has his eyes glow and so is his spooky friend, he's gonna go cross over here, stand on top of the dead farmer,
Yeah.
and he's gonna swing twice at the wounded Tulpa right here.
All right. You jump over, bringing your axe down upon him. Yeah, 26 would strike. The Elven Axe will slash him, putting him to near death.
And I'm going to do it again.
17 would cut right through him as he vanishes with the laughter holding in the air.
All right. And after that, I will end my turn.
All right. New round. The Tulpa here is going to get up. Unfortunately, I think he is below your radius at this point, so he would not take damage from it. But he is going to attempt to climb out. Assuming he can, he'd be back in your radius. So, athletics check. Yeah, he would. Entering your radius, he would have to make a save. 14?
Fail.
Alright, so that would be
88.
15, so 30 damage. And he would burn up. And a voice says, "I shall return," as he vanishes. The
Do we all
Tulpa.
hear these voices?
Oh yeah, you would all hear it. The blind one.
I think you just skipped me.
Oh, did I?
Mhm.
Riala, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna move down into the sphere. Oh, sorry. Hang on. The map moved when I was moving the token. Now it won't let me select her. There we go. Okay. I'm gonna try and get a view on one of these guys. Keep zigzagging, see if I can see somebody. Okay. I see one here, right?
Yeah, the blind
All
one.
right.
How long does
try
that
it.
blind last?
I think until the start. I'll link it real quick. Blinded until the end of the attacker's next turn.
Did he go yet?
So, I think he looks like he's up next.
Oh, okay. So he would still be blind.
So my Thorn Whip macro appears to be broken, so I'll roll it separately, but...
Alright. You send a Thorn Whip. A good thing is, I know some people have made spell attack macros in the event their macros break. It's sometimes good. But yeah,
Plus 7.
so 20 would strike it.
So then, and I want to pull him into the pit. I'm learning from Ophelia here.
Alright,
That
so
seemed like a good tactic.
9 points of damage will wound him. Pulling him forward, he is going to make an athletics check to try to not fall. Oh, yeah, he would make it, so instead of falling in the pit, he holds on at the edge, falling prone instead.
And I think I'm going to make that my turn.
Alright, so this one will stand up, no longer be blinded. And he is going...
At the end of this turn.
Oh, is it the end?
Link it again.
Until the end of the attacker's next turn. Alright, so he's going to attack Clank with blindness.
He takes 7 radiant from Spirit Guardians.
Wisdom save. Oh, so he would take 14.
Ooh, nice.
Becoming badly wounded. And go after Clank. 14 would miss you. And 17?
That misses as well.
Alright, so luckily both attacks would miss. This one, who is outside of the radius, is going to try to attack Elduin. Using his Yeah, I'll just use his claws. So he comes at you swiping. 14.
Will hit.
Oi.
So you are struck.
I am going to teleport to him and take that damage.
Alright, go ahead and link it. Alright. It's about to be damaged. Alright, so you would take the 14 necrotic as he's about to hit Elduin.
Okay, yep. That's understandable.
So the second attack, kind of surprised by this, he's going to turn towards you, Ophelia, and swing at you this time.
I need to do a DC save, right?
Oh, yeah, you need to make a con save if you're concentrating on the, your aura thingy.
Weapons.
Alright.
Yeah, so you do hold the spell. Actually, I think it's going to attack Elduin again. Even though you took that one. So it does another claw attack. 16.
Will hit.
Alright, so 10 necrotic damage.
Alright.
Which I don't think you can half.
No.
Okay. So that is it for that one, Ophelia. Oh, geez, actually, I just realized we're way over time. Alright, well, why don't we, end here.
It's about to be right over, though.
Yeah, well, there's still going to be one left, I think, because the one is undamaged. Why don't we end here and we can just kill them quick next week. So let's do MVP votes, because I'm not sure if everyone has to get going or not.
Oh, yeah, I did not mark con. Sorry. But I do have the aura on me.
Oh, I don't see it.
Yeah,
Does.
neither do I.
Yeah, it doesn't display for me.
Oh, really? I can see it. Luke, can you see it?
Yeah, I can see everything. There.
Ah, there, I see it now. Yeah, it looks like he just had to adjust your token. Yeah, cool.
But I was not concentrating. Oh, yeah, let me whisper this.
Yeah, Ria's totally gonna get back in that aura when she has a chance.
So there is Clank with 3 votes, your MVP.
Yeah.
So you gain inspiration.
Oh, thank you.
Good job,
got to
everyone.
swing at some things after a very RP heavy session, so that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Lots of RPing. Good job. Yeah, we will continue exploring this crypt next week.
All right.
Yeah, fun time. Thanks for the session.
RPN, what are you? From that continent over there, European?
Wah, wah. Ba-dow.
Good session, guys. That was actually quite enjoyable. I quite thoroughly enjoyed the lore dumps.
Best of luck getting your tooth ripped out.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's been.
You're gonna get it drilled or ripped out?
I don't know. It's already a crown.
They'll probably just drill it more. It's usually what they do. It probably just needs to be like, what's that called? Is it a root? Is it already been root? No, it's not, it wouldn't. If it was root canaled, you wouldn't have any pain. So I'm guessing they'll just like fully root canal it.
Dude,
What is the like? What causes you to need a crown? Like, I'm aware that this is a dumb question. Like that. This is very common
really
at this
big
practice. I
cavity.
just-
Like basically your tooth is. Or go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're fine. So basically, it's like they file down your tooth to like a point, basically, and put like a whole crown, like basically a whole new tooth over the top. And it's because usually, like Lou was saying, real big bad cavity, or it's prone to be in cavity and is already like weakened by
That makes
quite a
sense.
lot.
Yeah,
Like
if
in the
you're.
molars that have all those little dips.
Yeah, it's basically like the structural integrity of your tooth is bad, and like it doesn't make sense to just keep putting more fillings in it. So you just put a whole new tooth on top of a little bit of tooth that it clamps onto.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
like, so
figured it
your
was something
roots are
like that.
still there.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if this is a
But
dumb question, but I don't know anyone who like, I'm sure I know people who have them, but people that have talked to me about them, I was like I've heard of it as a practice, but like I wasn't exactly sure what the exact practice was.
yeah,
So.
root canal is
I
when
chipped
your root is exposed too much, and it's giving you pain because of it.
My
That
root canal I
sounds
had previously was I had a real big filling on the top of one of my molars. I didn't realize basically underneath that they didn't clean it out all the way, so it got infected in that pocket inside my tooth down into the root. So it was just going on for who knows how long, and they basically had to pull the cap off and then get rid of all that decaying tooth root, get rid of the infection.